Wait, that doesn't work like that. Okay, so this is weird. This is I can't even wait 1 second for this. Did you know people are tattooing their eyeballs?
Yes, I do know that. There's a woman who just had like a big eye infection because of it.
Yeah, so you saw that story, right? Mm-hmm. I did not know that. It is actually popular. People are, and I don't know if it's like a tattoo.
It's the white part of your eye, too,
yeah,
right?
so they're shooting ink into their eyes to have colored eyes and lots of different inks. And then one woman was upset because she's going blind.
Yes.
That doesn't seem. I mean, is that like sticking your hand in like a meat grater or something, and then being surprised that you don't have any fingers left? Does that freak anybody out? Would you ever, in a million years, let somebody stick a needle in your eye just so it can be colored?
It took me 10 years to wear contact lenses.
I did LASIK, and that took like a Herculean effort. But I mean, other than that, I don't even want to rub my eyes, much less put anything in them. So
when I and you can't do this anymore, but when I had LASIK done because I was like legally blind in one eye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and still played good basketball. Yeah, that was terrible. They gave me some down. This guy's like, "You gonna be okay?" I'm like, I'm a little nervous. So he gave me a couple of downers. He goes, "Here, take these. We'll start in 20 minutes." So by the time we started, he's like, "Oh man, you're gonna smell a laser. You're gonna smell something, and it's gonna be your eye burning from the laser. Don't freak out, right?" And I'm doing this. Burning. I'm like, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, whatever. I don't really care, man. You just do whatever you want to do. I just one more. And I asked him, I go, do I get one of those pills for the way home? and not till after we were done did he ask me, "Hey, are you driving?" Yeah. Yeah. She gave me a couple of downers. I go,
this Dr. Nick did your eyes?
No, you can't drive when you're home.
I was going to say, you're not supposed to drive after LASIK.
No, you can't. You got those things on your eyes. And
drive carefully.
Yeah. Have fun storming the castle. I love that. That was awesome. But yeah, so nobody here would ever do that, right? You would never think about doing that? Sticking
your eyeballs?
Yeah.
Get your eyeballs tattooed? No.
Okay, all right.
But I also didn't think that I'd ever get my nipples pierced once, and then I got them pierced twice. And then I still don't have any of them. Like, I still don't have any of the piercings.
I still take that over the eyeball.
Yeah. I'm like, your nipples or the piercings?
The
nipples are still there.
No, my nipples are also gone.
Okay.
I did breastfeed 2 children. It's gonna happen.
Wait, do they wear down?
Yeah, they just wear out. There's just like nothing there now.
They nibbled it away to the nubs.
Well, it's just a mound of flesh. It's just.
Oh, wow.
Would you hear about the one guy? You ever see like their world's? There's a thing on YouTube it calls people you didn't think existed, and they show this one guy. It's a real person. He's literally tattooed from head to toe. I guess like he did something with his teeth where it looks like he has fangs, and he's completely blue from head to toe.
I saw that guy. In Indiana.
And he's got he's
just tattooed himself blue.
His head, his face, everything.
Yeah. He looks like a demon or something. But yeah, he's just a regular guy who just went way. He went way too far.
I saw him at a rest area in Indiana. I swear to God. I'm not making this up.
You legit saw that guy?
That guy. Oh, you can't miss him. He's blue from his entire body, his everything. There's not a speck on his face.
He's got like yellow eyes. He looks like that blue thing from X-Men, that blue character.
What?
Yeah. It's a real person walking around like that.
Wow. You know what I want to do? So listen. So this is my thing. Like when I die, I want to know like where I hit a couple of golf balls, like what happened, like when I walked out of the room, what happened. This thing. I also just want to go back into other people's lives, and I just want to know, hey man, can you just rewind this guy's life? I just want to know when. Oh, that's what happened to him. That's why he's completely blue from head to toe. Oh man.
Don't you think it starts just like really slow though? It starts like, oh, I'm gonna just tattoo this part of my body. Oh. Well, that looks empty, so like I'm going to add more. Like I feel like that's what happens with most people.
But when you get to your face, doesn't that seems pretty intense? When you
what
get
is
to
it?
your
What
face,
is that disease where you turn blue?
Smurfism? I don't know.
No, there is some sort of condition like.
I think it's called you can't. I think it's called you can't breathe and you turn blue right now.
No, there's some sort of condition where you're exposed to a metal, not mercury or something, and then. There's a
I'm sure there's some kind of disease.
There's like Addison's disease where it looks like you turn bronze, like your skin is bronze.
Yeah.
Really?
This is blue, like literally like a Smurf.
Yeah, I don't know.
That is the most terrifying thing I have ever heard. But I mean, blue's not a bad color. No. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna pick a color, I mean, red seems like it'd be a little. People would think you're dangerous, right? If you were red, yeah, that'd be terrible.
I see those guys all the time.
What?
Drinking too much. My buddy Steve gets like that.
Red face?
That's what I call white people syndrome.
That is white person syndrome. Yeah.
Too much booze and they turn red.
He turns so
Although
red.
the Asians, we have Asian flush, the Asian blush, where like Asian folks we drink and then our cheeks turn real red.
Just your cheeks, though.
Just our cheeks. Yeah, not like real hillbilly, like red face.
No, Steve's bald. His whole head turns red. Everything. It's hilarious.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, it's funny.
That is really scary. Okay, so we'll get this thing rolling because we got a lot to do today. This is pretty insane. Okay, all right. Hey everybody, my name is Matt, and this is the Real Three Idiots podcast. I almost screwed that up. Can you believe that?
It is.
Yeah. How many times? 50? Have we done this 50 times?
Is this the 50th?
I think this is 49
What's
or 50.
called like the Jubilee? Like, is that like when you talk about like a wedding anniversary? What's like the Jubilee or what's the? I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
No, there's no Jubilee
I
in
don't
a
know.
wedding
I don't know.
anniversary. Isn't it like gold and silver,
Silver,
and
yeah.
frankincense
No,
and
it's all diamond every year.
No, isn't diamond is a big one? Isn't it like 50 or 25 or something? 10?
Diamond.
3? 6? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. With me as always are Mark and Ted. Fellas, give us a grunt.
Yep.
Hey.
There you go. Yeah, good job. You're really good on a podcast. Okay. Back with us is somebody who you probably recognize her voice, and she's super awesome. Elizabeth Gomez. Elizabeth, thanks for coming back.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, as usual.
And thanks for not giving Teddy a hip check on the way in. We appreciate that.
The night's early. We'll see how things
Wait
go.
a minute. Oh, man. This would be awesome. Can I label this show the show where Ted gets his ass kicked?
Again.
Again.
We're going to a defensive posture.
No, listen, my
two.
sister asked me, she goes, when you were on last time, my sister, she's listening, she goes, hey, can I ask you a question? She goes, when you guys finished up the show with Elizabeth, she goes, how bad did she kick Ted's ass?
That's so funny because when I listened to that podcast, I was like, "Oh, I was so nice to Ted."
She keeps saying, I could
I felt
have
pretty
done worse.
menaced. I felt pretty menaced though. Just FYI.
Ted,
I was like, I was so nice.
that's okay. You know what? I
You
didn't
were very
hear it.
restraint, right? You're
No,
showing
it's
a lot
funny.
of restraint.
Yeah, because we were here, and I could see like your body language and everything, and I knew that everything was fine. But yeah, so a couple of people, it was kind of funny. So after that, because my sister listened right away, there's some comments on some of our social media, and it's like, oh man, Ted got his ass kicked. He really got that shit handed to him. And I was like, wow. Yeah. And somebody asked, she goes, did you record the fight after the show? I'm like, oh, man, that's not how it works. You don't record the fight. You just let the fight happen, right? All right. And since today is just about Christmas time, right, we're just about there, and everyone is scrambling to find the perfect gift that says, I love you and I'm horny. We have Searah Deysach, right? Is that how I say it? Am I saying it right?
Deysach.
Deysach? Oh,
Close
man.
enough. It's okay. It's okay.
Darn it. I listened to, you've been on a lot of different podcasts, and I listened, and I heard people introduce you, and I swear I wrote it down wrong. That must have.
Or people also always introduce me wrong, one or the other.
I'm blaming. You know what? I'm going to do what Mark does. I'm going to blame somebody else.
Blame Savage.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right, so Searah is, she owns this fantastic store called Early to Bed, and I would call it the #1 world's leading sex toy shop right here in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's what people are saying.
Number one.
Yeah, that's
Number
what people
one.
are saying. That's what I heard Mark
like
say
it.
it
Yeah,
after
I
I told him to
said
say it. Okay. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, in case you're in Chicago and you want to get to her shop, I'll get this stuff out of the way real quick. She's on 5138 North Clark Street in Chicago, and you can get to her online at earlytobed.com, and it's early with a 2, bed.com. Okay. Now, Mark knows, Teddy, I've been talking about this for months. I'm so excited, right? I was like, I don't know anything about sex toys. Okay? I mean, except,
I'm so sorry for your wife.
No. I mean, everything that I've dealt with has been from behind. Yeah, I don't ever see that sex toy because it's all, I mean, for guys, it's all butt stuff, right?
Oh,
I mean, isn't
No,
that,
not necessarily.
no?
I think for everyone, there's different things that like make them feel special.
Oh, man, Sarah's.
See the way he lumps us all together when he's talking about
Yeah, he's all just like all the dudes
Butt
like
stuff.
butt stuff.
What?
everybody likes butt sex.
Oh, man, hold on a second. Sarah is reaching into her bag of tricks, and she has literally pulled out the first, I'm hoping just the first sex toy. Oh, man.
So,
Wait,
yeah,
what-
it's not
what-
for your butt.
I don't know. That looks like it could go in somebody's butt
No,
pretty easily.
it is not butt safe, and it'd be really hard to get it in someone's butt.
Hold on a
And
second.
get it
hold on a
out.
second.
And it's super stretchy. I think it would be like too stretchy for your butt.
Yeah.
So-
there's
Oh,
a whole
I like
lot
it,
of
though.
not
So when
going in your
people
butt.
come in, I mean, and they're as stupid as I am. Do you have to? When I look at it, I pick it up and I wave it and I go butt stuff, and you go no butt stuff. Do you have to say that to a lot of people, or am I just kind of?
So
No,
wait,
there's a lot of people who don't know what they're looking for or what anything is. That's why we're there. We're there to answer questions, especially when people want to stick the wrong thing in their butt. We'll be the first people to tell you not
Sir,
to do
this is
it.
not used, right? This is brand new.
It is handled.
It's a sample?
It's our tester. Yeah.
Wait, what, a tester?
It's
Not
out
that.
on the
Are we doing
floor.
that,
Oh,
too?
come
Not that
on.
kind of tester.
Come on.
So
Okay.
just tell us. Well, nobody
So
can
this
see
is
what this is.
it's a masturbation sleeve. So it is for someone to put their penis into.
Oh, so
Now it's gonna have.
when I mean, it's probably a
Animal hair all
generic
over
term.
it?
Yeah, it's probably a generic term, but like a we call it like a pocket pussy. Is that
Sure.
what? Is that
Or
what somebody?
Yep.
that
Or a
what-
stroker, or yeah,
Okay, so
they're
so
all the same genre.
oh man, that is awesome. Okay, so so Sarah, let's do this. How long
Matt's
have
at
you
loss
been?
for words. He's like fumbling. He doesn't even know what to say to you.
I wish
Wait till you see what else is in my bag.
I wish you would have caught it so I could see it.
Well, I'm wondering he's more upset about not catching the dick than he is, or
Yeah,
the.
he's just flabbergasted.
Right.
He's like, "Wait a minute, this is not going in my butt." Like,
Wait a minute.
What's
I don't want to
happening?
catch it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I tried to catch it. That's the best I could do right there. I literally
It's
tried to
actually
catch
a little,
it.
It's got some grip to it.
Okay, so let's get Sarah. I want to find out this, Sarah. You own this really cool sex toy store. Okay, how long have you been running this thing?
21 years.
Holy cow!
I know, and I look so young, don't I?
That is, you absolutely do.
That's a
What-
successful.
Sarah,
So
I'm so proud of you. I'm so
you.
proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And it's funny because the Windy City Roller started almost 20 years ago. So we must have met you like right at the beginning
When
of
I
it
was
all.
a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you guys don't know is, and the weirdest thing that's ever happened. Sarah's already here. Elizabeth walks in. And she goes, I go, hey, Elizabeth, Sarah, and Elizabeth goes, oh yeah, we know, I know her. She sponsored my my roller skating team. Yeah, you know, like
every
20 years
roller
ago.
derby.
every time you have a sex toy person in here, it happens.
Yeah.
every
Well,
every
roller
time.
skating and sex toys are really, they're very, they go hand in hand pretty much. So
What? Get it hand in hand. Are we not doing this? We're not going
They
to do any
go
of
they
that.
go hand into masturbation sleeve.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Hand in masturbation
So
sleeve. it makes
so
sense.
you guys, I mean, you guys sell everything that there is to sell.
no,
You sell,
we sell
just one thing.
a carefully curated collection
I like it.
of
I like
high
it.
quality toys that we deem not only a good value, but good for your body, and so body safe items. We're not just like, so and so's roadside sex toy store where they just stock a wall of fake.
So that thing on the side of the road that I see when I'm driving down
Yeah.
57.
Lion's
Ted's
Den,
dildos.
Lion-
Yeah,
Lion's
Ted's
Den.
dildos.
I don't name names.
I almost bought a shirt from the Lions Den years ago, just FYI. The one in Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
So-
must have a big advertising
I thi-
budget
I-
because you can see their billboards everywhere. They're just,
yeah.
I feel like those are your that is the sex store, roadside store.
That's,
Oh, yeah.
Ted actually endorses that one,
Actually,
so
I-
he's got to not endorse it anymore.
no, actually, I
Yeah.
walked into that place years ago just out of curiosity. I didn't buy anything, just FYI. But I
You just said
No
you bought, you just
judgment.
said you bought a T-shirt.
I wanted to buy a
wanted
T-shirt, but I
to.
didn't. And actually, what I wanted was to get them for sponsor like a softball team of ours, but they were just too far away. But anyway, long story short, so I just walk in there just for curiosity's sake, and yeah, I'm just looking at the customers. And it's just it just looks like just local folks. There's nobody crazy looking in there.
You
Just
were
average
creeping.
looking people.
You were creeping.
No,
You
it
were
was
not
just-
a customer.
I was not. I was like a mystery shopper.
Wait, you're curious what was in there, or you've never seen sex toys before?
Well, I was curious what was in there, and I was curious about the type of people that were in there, and it was just normal, everyday people that you see at, like a Walmart
who
or
did you
Walgreens.
think was going to be there?
Like
Like someone with 6 heads?
Everybody looked like Alice
No.
Cooper. Everyone looked like Alice Cooper
Yes.
with long black fingernails. I had a lot of
So you-
stereotypes in my
yeah,
head.
so you think only heavy metal people like
just
sex
heavy
toys?
metal people. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
well, this
and
is
guys in
starting off right.
raincoats, right?
Yeah, guys in
in
raincoats. Yeah,
Yeah, guys in raincoats and
Carrying
heavy
ru-
metal guys.
carrying rubber ducks and rolled up newspapers and stuff like that.
So, since we're talking about a really really crappy like chain, okay.
I didn't
which
say
is-
they were crappy.
No,
so
those
one's
are my
gonna
words.
sue
We're
me,
saying
yeah.
it. We're saying it.
No, those are my words for sure. So, your product is different in where is most of this stuff made?
Oh, well, if it turns on, chances are it's made in China.
Okay.
There's one company called Fun Factory that's making high quality vibrators in Germany, and we sell their stuff. They're great stuff, but it's expensive because
Sure.
it's Germany. And then when it comes to non-vibrating things, there's a lot of boutique-y kind of people making like silicone dildos and stuff in the U.S.
So like Etsy's a market for that probably. or something.
Yes,
Huge.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
But also we source things like for bigger companies that are in the U.S. But it's just I think once you start getting electrical components,
course.
You're getting them from China. And even if you're buying stuff that's assembled in the U.S., it usually has components from China. So,
because I was thinking, George Clooney made his own chair in that movie, right? Remember that movie?
oh,
Well,
I
a
don't
dildo
know.
chair?
Yeah, there was a
Do you guys
movie
remember
where
that movie?
he
Was
made
it
No,
called-
I don't remember that movie.
It was called Burn After Reading, right? Was
I
it-
I
think
did see that.
he did use some positioning products, I think, in that movie that are made, I think, in Atlanta or something. So those are U.S. made products.
Dude, that was the funniest thing. I was thinking about that because that was like such a twist in that movie, but it was a total like. So you don't have anything like that, like a big chair. Or,
No. We
Okay.
have, I mean, first of all, we're a small retail
Okay,
store. We
okay.
don't have enough room for chairs. And we just, like my customers are for the most part, looking for vibrators, dildos, butt plugs,
Sure.
stuff like that, light BDSM stuff. So stuff that's, you can walk out of the front door with. I think that it's just hard to stock that stuff, and I don't want to spend the money and have it sit around.
but that kind of
for-
product is out there, right? Like,
Oh,
for
like
sure.
tables and swings.
Oh,
and,
sure. Yeah, and I
okay.
will be happy to special order it for
Sure,
you. But
okay.
there's a lot of stuff out there. It's just a matter of capacity, and
behind that door over there.
only imagine what's behind that door.
No.
It's probably a lot of dirty laundry.
Use golf
That's
clubs.
where all my dirty laundry is.
It's all Matt's secrets.
Wait. No, listen, I don't know anything. So, I don't have a lot of sex toys because I don't know
don't
much
either.
about it,
Yeah.
right? And I'm unclear on how it all works. So that's why Sarah's here because I got this. What do you call this thing I have in my hand right
Well,
now?
that's called it's the specific name for that is a bobble sleeve, but it's basically a masturbation sleeve. So something to give your penis a party when you are either by yourself.
Oh,
or
it stretches out. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it
think
fits everyone. Everybody asks that question. Oh, it's not going to fit me.
just for the listeners, it's basically like if we describe it, it's kind of what you think, like 4 inches, 5 inches.
About 5 inches.
Yeah, and then it's like a stretchy silicone material with some balls inside of it.
It's not silicone, but it's a stretchy non-silicone material that has these firmer, brightly colored, textured balls inside so that, when you put your penis in there, you have this like kind of sensation that you're not going to get from another person or part of a
It
body.
looks
So
Like-
the
like
ball,
there's
so
a
the
lot of
ball,
pressure there.
so the ball presses against
Yeah.
the shaft area
Yeah.
while you're,
Yeah.
and then it's a different type of.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
then
know-
you can
and-
use your hand
And there's
to
a lot
adjust.
of blood vessel.
Oh,
massaging.
man.
Yeah.
Do you know what it
I'm
looks
going
like?
to listen
It
to this
looks
show
like-
every 10
It looks
minutes.
exactly like that toy that used like 25 years ago.
The
that
snaky things
Yes.
that you couldn't hold,
Yes.
Not
right?
slinky, not slinky.
No, like
No,
they
no,
were
it
like
was
these
like-
like water-filled
Yes.
tubes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that was a lot of people's first thing they stuck their dick in.
Yep.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Wait, am I not supposed to raise my hand? Whoops, sorry. That is, yeah. You know what? It's funny because I think about, I bet there's tons of people who probably use a lot of things they shouldn't use to enjoy themselves because they're probably a little embarrassed to go into a store. I mean, I have to be honest with you. I've never walked into a sex toy store. I know, and mostly just out of being kind of nervous about, oh man, people are seeing me walk in here.
Ted's
What
gonna
do
be
they
here.
think I'm going to do?
Ted's going to see me walking in and judge me.
I'm gonna look like the hamburger. I'm gonna put like one of that bandit mask on and walk in. I'm like,
No.
yes, and talk with a fake French accent. Yes, I'm looking for.
You're
not for me.
There's a lot of
For a
that.
f-
There's a
it's
lot
for
of
a friend of a
yeah.
friend.
I need something for a friend. I mean, there's this reputation of these kinds of stores of being creepy. There's this history of them being not welcoming, not friendly, certainly not welcoming or friendly to women or queer folks or stuff like that. And so I think part of what we try and do is change that so that the windows are open. People
Yeah.
can see from outside. We're on a really cute
It's mainstream.
neighborhood.
It's mainstream,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's mainstream.
not
Yeah,
like, it's not
you
something.
can definitely see the dildos from across the street.
Yeah.
but it's
There's,
not.
there is some I noticed.
That's what my
no,
neighbors.
no big deal. But
Elizabeth, that's what my neighbors say when they look in my window.
Oh, the dildo's looking at us again.
they're like, "Why is this dildo walking around?"
Man, that dildo's way too big.
but no, man, what you're describing is more
Oh,
like
Oh, that's a dragon.
Dick balls.
Yeah, I just thought as long as we're
I like
talking.
the I like the color scheme on
That
that.
I feel like I'm in Blazing Saddles where he says, "Excuse me while I whip this out."
These are-
Oh my
Yeah,
golly
these are
God!
like super popular in the world of porn right now.
Yeah, tentacle, and I don't know what this is. It a dragon? Is it
Well,
a
it
unicorn?
looks like kind of like one, but you're right.
I don't
We-
know. I have no idea what a dragon penis
Folks, folks, don't worry. We're going to take pictures of every single thing that she has out here so you can see it. Okay, so when people come into your store, is it individual people? Are there couples? I mean, what's kind of the average person?
Oh, well, there, you know, it's hard to say because a lot of people shop by themselves. A lot of people shop with their partner, especially like, you know, the weekend evenings is date night. So people are going to pick up a sex toy before they go out for dinner after. And so there's a lot of couples in there. Weekend days, you see friends who are out for brunch. So you get a group of, 5 people coming in together looking for stuff.
That is so wild because whenever I picture like people saying, "Oh, we're going shopping," I always imagine that they're going to buy like a shirt and not like a dick.
Well,
I think though that like the culture has changed, right? I think one of the things that Sarah's talking about is, I don't know if you remember that store that was called L'Amour's. It was across the street from the Admiral.
Yeah.
Like it's
still there.
It's a
still
super.
there, yeah.
I bought some cards there for bowling.
I'm sure you bought
those.
cards.
I would never. That store's a lot different than hers.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like that is a place where like most women and queer folks would not want to go in there,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
because it
point.
feels dirty, it feels nasty.
Yep.
It's across the street from like this, stripper place, which is also a fun place. But then when
they have the video arcade in there and stuff.
Yes, but when you go to when you go to Sarah's place, it's different. It's like brightly lit. You see tons of young folks in there. Like everyone seems very open about what's happening and like that the transaction shouldn't be so shady.
Right.
Right.
It's supposed to be friendly and warm and
your lights are on and your coloring the color of the walls are really pretty.
Thank you.
I love this store.
Thank you.
Well, it's good that it's mainstream because I think it goes back to like the culture where not all of us, but like say a lot of us are raised, we don't talk about those things,
Right.
and so and it's not now it's basically mainstream now, so it's like normalized behavior and it's okay. So that's why like when we talk about now, we see this, we giggle like little kids, but when we think about it, logically, it's just part of the human condition, and
but it's interesting that you say that you guys don't talk about it because my perspective as a woman is definitely like that. Men's sexual pleasure is always talked about, and it's generally like the drive to a lot of things. Whereas like women's pleasure, like women's sexual pleasure is never talked about until like recently. Sarah, what is it like? What are your ideas about that? Like, how do you feel when women come in there and start discussing it?
I mean, it's fascinating to me how many women who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and older come in and who've never had an orgasm before, or who need help figuring that out, or who have questions about their basic anatomy or confusion about their basic anatomy. And I thought, when I started the store, it was 2001, and it wasn't before the internet, but it's, it was just starting. Yeah. And I thought, well, as things as our culture kind of evolved, I thought, this is going to be unnecessary at some point. But we are still getting people who have total misinformation about sex, sexuality, their body, and who still need to talk to someone one-on-one because they don't ask their doctor. Their friends are, don't know the answers. They heard something ridiculous from a past lover. Like there's so many things that are like, oh my God, who told you that? That's like wrong. People still there are lots of people with vaginas and vulvas who come in and say, there's something wrong with me because I need clitoral stimulation in order to have an orgasm. And you're just like, what? That is absolutely normal. But why is it 2022 when we're still having to correct these, I don't know, really bad ideas?
Misconceptions.
Yeah. And so I think that there's a lot, and I think that men maybe don't talk about sex with each other, but our culture talks about and prioritizes men's pleasure so much. So even if a individual guy is like, well, I'm not, it's not about me, or I'm here to pleasure my partner or whatever. It's like, it's very different because the message everyone's getting is about, male pleasure.
Well, think about the movies. Like in the movies, right? The women are like this, like, and they're like making all this noise. And all you get from the men is this, like, 1, 2, 3, pump.
That was perfect.
Sounds like when Harry. Is this like when Harry met Sally or something like that?
Can somebody get this? I think Ted's going to make this dildo come.
See, yeah. Ted
I
is
can't stop squeezing this thing.
It's a very supple, isn't it?
It's very. I'm like, it's like a
Very
handle.
nice
okay,
to feel.
so this is weird. So how does a guy get laid a second time if he's not making sure that the woman is enjoying herself?
Not because the woman doesn't know she can. This is literally like a battle that has been fought for hundreds of years. I feel like.
Well, and it's a deeply rooted societal thing where women need men's approval, and so they're not gonna rock the boat, or they don't think they're entitled to more because nobody ever told them about pleasure. Like.
See that, and that seems so weird to me because, and Teddy and I talk about this, because we are always sitting in a bar and drinking. But it's weird to me that a guy wouldn't want to make sure that the girl he's with is enjoying herself, because if she's not, why would she ever give him a second swing if he's just a two-pump chump? I mean, why doesn't she just kick him to the curb? I mean, there's so many guys crawling all over every woman in the world. I mean, we know how guys are. Why would you ever give him a second chance or even a third chance if he's just no good at it or he doesn't care?
I would say this is a great, when I brought this whole movie scenario, it's a great example. Like, even the movies when the woman is allegedly having this great time, that whole like moaning and like yelling and being like, oh, you're number one, all that shit, that is all for men's pleasure. That has nothing to do with the woman in the film.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes, correct. So like we are taught, or by just even watching the media that we do, that's how we're supposed to act. But we're never really ever talking about like what women are supposed to get out of sex until recently, I think.
Yeah,
Sarah could speak
changed
a
a
little
lot.
bit more on it.
But also, when we're looking at movies too, especially when you're exposed to like R-rated movies as opposed to porn, which is a whole other topic, you're seeing intercourse, penis and vagina intercourse, and that is what, while very, very pleasurable for lots of people, for women, it's not always the end all be all, and we're not shown that that's okay. And so people internalize, well, I don't really love intercourse. I don't get an orgasm from intercourse alone, so there's something wrong with me. So I'm going to be ashamed about that. So I'm just going to keep having sex this way because I don't know who to talk to about this, or there's just, this is a dissertation, right? Like there's just, It's so many layers between culture and patriarchy and media and, everything.
But when it is talked about, it's, at least in my experience, challenge accepted.
What does that mean? I don't understand.
No, I met girls that said that before.
What do you mean challenge accepted?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
I've never had an orgasm,
Oh, so then you're I'm going to give you one.
No, yeah. No, but if you have a caring partner, you're like, hey,
actually, I'm gonna direct you to someone who can.
This is fun. Let's figure this out.
This woman needs an orgasm. I can't assist her, but I can just give you a referral.
Well, I also think there's lots of men who partner with women who then have their ego becomes part of it, right? And so if you're like, oh, well, you haven't had an orgasm, I'm going to give you one, and then you don't, and then, oh no, then where's your masculinity there? And so then your partner might fake it so that they're not going to hurt you. If we saw orgasm more as something that we don't give somebody else, but we can like help someone along with, then I think we'd have less attachment to like, how someone has one. And then maybe somebody, like, let's say a woman could, stimulate herself with a vibrator while she was getting banged by her boyfriend and not have that be like less than, his penis creating all of the orgasmic sensation, which is what we think in a lot of our narratives is how it should be going.
No, and you know what? I can kind of agree with that. I've mostly, in most of my life, I have faked most of my orgasms. So I know how that is.
Womp womp.
You were just
Boo that joke.
You were just acting.
That joke.
You were just acting.
Oh, come on, man.
That's so hack, Matt.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing.
Always
Like anything in life, we make simple things complicated. We make and there obviously there's been books about this. The Joy of Sex. Who's the leading experts on?
That's
a very recent book.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, but here's the bottom line. Some people, they get along great. He's like, a lot of women say this is the default answer that a lot of women say. Oh, he's a nice guy. Whatever that means. But some people just aren't sexually compatible with one another.
It's very true.
How could that be? All the boy parts and the girl parts match up. But that's a real thing. Like, so a guy who thinks he's like a great lover because like he had a good experience with that woman doesn't mean he's going to have it with this woman.
True, and also some people.
So there's
who
a lot of variables.
Have the same parts get together. Just I want to put that out there.
Yes.
Not everyone's heterosexual, but
I would also say that 100% of the dudes who think they're great at sex are not.
or the guys who probably talk about sex a lot as if they are good at it.
Actually, Elizabeth, I think that number is 104%.
I would say, so far as like orgasms, what we also are talking about is for women, and I think this is true for men, is like there has to be an arousal moment, right? There has to be like, which is also the fun thing about toys, is that there's some arousal. There's something that's kind of like moving things along, to Sarah's point. Yeah. But I don't necessarily think that is just physical. I think sometimes it's about like things that you want and you desire, things that are like very like even just like sometimes the way someone touches your hand or someone pulls, touches your hair or pulls your hair. And I don't know if we ever discuss that, especially like in pop culture. I don't think that's a thing that really talks about. Everything's very aggressive in pop culture, and sometimes it's just like
you need some more subtle, a little more
there's
finesse.
something like a little bit softer that could happen that like will make you feel like this is going to happen for me.
Well, like I said, we all know the biggest erogenous zone is your mind, right? Just like why can a guy have a wet dream? Seriously,
Professor Ted.
Why can a guy have a wet dream without even getting an erection? I mean, like if you asked me to close my eyes right now and ejaculate. Yeah, that would be like impossible.
No, thank you.
Joy of Sex, Chapter 1. Joy of Sex, Chapter 1.
Listen to me. No
But
one
I have
ever.
my bodyguard here.
Exactly. Yeah, but the point is, I mean, so
and that's me. I'll take care of you, Sarah. Don't worry.
Yeah, but so that's the biggest erogenous zone when you think about it, and that's the thing. That's the secret sauce. I mean, so you could have all the apparatus you want, and this thing's pretty cool, by the way. I might have to
Ted,
buy this.
I cannot believe
He's
Ted
squeezing that so hard.
I know
It's
he
turning
has,
purple.
Yeah, he has not taken his hands off of that thing. Teddy, you will be sitting at a different table for me when we go drinking tomorrow. Yeah, I cannot have you that close to
I
me.
might have to bring this with me.
All right, so
Well, it does suction cup. It suction cups right on. So
It's
you can
easy,
use it
too.
easily, Ted.
Easily.
so
For
that's
your,
a
for your
butt
mouth
stuff.
and for your butt. It's
A mouth.
Yes.
How would you? But
He get, what?
he
How
wouldn't
would he
have
put
fun
use it
that.
with his
No,
mouth?
but I don't think he would have fun with that, right? I guess you could. I guess you could. There's your what you talk about.
No judgment. No
Yeah.
judgment.
Oh no, I have to judge Ted. I'm sorry.
I know.
I hang out with him way too
the only
much.
research I did was I actually had to Google this. I said, what's the average size of the female dildo that a lot of women keep in their nightstand? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. 4 to 6 inches is the average size of the female dildo.
Okay, so just I'm
You might know
sorry.
what it is, so.
No. You don't know. I'm a little bit nuts about words. Just dildo. It doesn't
Okay,
have to
I'm
be
sorry.
female.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. They don't have gender. So this
Okay.
is one thing we try to work on. That
Okay.
sex toys are for everyone. They don't have genders unless you make the gender. Anyways, but yes. So there's this like idea that what every person who's using a dildo wants is like I was gonna say 10 feet. Nobody wants 10 foot dildo, but like 12 inches. But when people are shopping for themselves, they're buying 4 to 6 inches. You're totally right. 7 inches. You don't have to stick things all the way in. But when people, especially men who have sex with women, are buying for these women, they're often buying really big things because that's our idea that the bigger the better. When people who are actually using these items, now don't get me wrong, there are size queens out there who love a big ride. But yeah, they average a lot smaller than I think a lot of people have in their minds, for sure.
All right, so let me ask you this. I know, and I meant to go, and I told Sarah I was going to go by the shop today. I just didn't have time. I actually had to do work, which it was horrible.
sorry.
But do you have a sign like McDonald's does, like over 1 million orgasms served?
Definitely.
Like, do you have something like that? And it just kind of like
It's the kind of classy joint we are. Yes, definitely.
Do you get like Yelp reviews?
She
You
just
get,
has like a calendar
do you get
that she
reviews
just
online,
flips.
like Yelp reviews
Sure.
or anything like that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're a regular retail
Business, you're
store.
doing business, yeah,
Usually
you're business, yeah.
and usually the reviews are like they were nice or there was
sure.
and no one's like, oh my gosh, I got banged so hard there. Like it's it's like a regular retail store. But I will say that when I exist in the world and I see people and people walk up to me like, oh my god, you're responsible for my first orgasm. You're responsible, and I'm just like, okay, thanks. I'm with my kid or whatever. But it's I was masturbating and I thought of you. It's
a high compliment.
definitely
Yeah,
a high compliment. So
yeah.
I don't know how many orgasms that I can be traced back to me. I've actually never even thought about that before, but I'm gonna go with 1 billion. Yeah, let's go with 1 billion. That
So
seems,
I have a question. So
After 20
a
years,
billion,
I think yes.
a billion
I
orgasms
had to
over
do the
20
math.
years.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea to open the store? Like,
Well, I was in grad school at the Art Institute, and I was crying in my studio a lot, so I knew that I had to do something else. And I liked talking about sex. And I was finding shopping at sex toy stores in Chicago. I was like, I hate this place. Like, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel affirmed. I would leave feeling creepy when I was like, this shouldn't be creepy. This should be fun. And this should be something that makes me feel excited as opposed to like icked.
yeah.
And I really just was young enough and I'm going to say naive enough that I was like, well, I'll just buy some vibrators and I'll open a sex toy store. It'll be great. And my mom was like, what are you doing?
And like you said, it was before the internet was like anywhere. It was just
we
starting
didn't even
out,
have
so-
a website for like 2 years. I was like,
Okay,
the internet,
so,
what's
yeah.
that? No one's gonna like that.
Yeah, you also your location was different.
It was a weird location. No one would rent to me.
Oh, the first
so
bit-
it was
the
on
first-
Sheridan Road,
Yeah.
and by Foster's was like across the street from
Oh.
the Dominic's.
Wait a minute. So when you went to go rent a place, you had to you told them ahead of time what
Yeah.
they wanted, and they would just say no?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Listen, if you pay me money to take my
no,
store,
but
why
she's
would
right.
somebody?
But they're picturing like the
Right,
shops
they're
that you don't want to
picking-
go
they're
into.
picking-
Yeah, we're
They're
talking.
thinking
You're
of
thinking there's
Lamores.
going to be
They're
video.
thinking of
There's a
Lions,
stigma.
right.
There's a
They're thinking
stigma.
of
There's a stigma
Lions Den.
around that
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
You know, like when you think about like the strip bar. You know,
Yeah.
you
And
can't
God-
have it within like 500 feet of a school
Well,
or
right.
a church. You know,
And if we
God-
had video
Yeah.
booths, that'd be an issue, which we don't.
Well, I was going to say, and God forbid a woman was going to lead this charge, right? Because then immediately the idea is like sex workers.
Right, that's exactly-
Actually,
Yep,
the only job that I've ever been fired for was when I was working a 6 a.m. to noon shift at a porn store in Hollywood and Vine.
Wow.
6 a.m.
That's
I thought you were
6
gonna say
a.m.
as a sex
and there's
worker.
people
No.
coming in 6 a.m. right? 'Cause
They're
wouldn't-
definitely everyone
Yeah.
who's coming in at 6 a.m. is basically your dad. Like
Okay, sure.
these are people like who are like, I need to go and like jack off
and then
at
go
this
to work
arcade and go to work.
Yeah.
And it was a
The
wild
professional time.
It was a wild job, and I fucking loved it because I love seedy underground shit. But it's definitely a place that I was like, if I didn't work here, I would never come here as a woman. And when I got hired, I was like, can I not work 6 a.m.? And they're like, no, because you're a woman.
They don't want you working at night.
They didn't want me to work
Yeah.
at night because there's arcades in the back, and they were like, you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, again, the depth for most men in the world of like how they think about sex and even sexual harm was like, oh, so I'll get harmed if I work from 8 o'clock on, but not at 6 a.m. when I'm alone in the store.
I think bad.
Like, what
I
are
think,
you talking
I think bad things happen 24
one
hours
ever
a
does
day.
anything
Yeah,
bad at
exactly.
6
Yeah.
No one's ever like, I'm going to attack this woman at 6 a.m.
Yeah. It's
Like,
it's like putting your wallet in your shoe at the beach. Like no criminal genius could ever figure that one out. And we'll sprinkle some magic fairy dust as a little cloak of invisibility, like Dungeons and Dragons, and nobody will ever.
and it's the
find
corner
it.
of
Yeah.
Hollywood and Vine and
course,
Los.
yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? But I think one of the things that I really liked about Early to Bed when I first found out about it was the fact that like it was cool to know that there was like this woman behind the whole scene, and then you're just kind of like assume that you would be taken care of, and that's really like very freeing. So, I mean, again, I'm so proud of you.
Well, and that's
So
what I
cool.
wanted. Like, I wanted the store to exist, and it didn't. And so I was like,
Well, it's cutting edge. You were ahead of your time, and you're providing a need to people that it's an unmet
Ted,
need.
Sarah can answer the question.
no. I want to hear. I want to hear a
I'm
man
saying
tell
you're
me. That's
providing.
good.
I'm not mansplaining. I'm just saying no. You're providing an unmet need to people that they don't even know what they need. So you're actually because
It's
they're
true.
probably too embarrassed, or maybe they don't have the wherewithal to even think about what they need.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know I needed this until right now.
I know, and you need that. I
need
think
that.
you need
Like
that.
you were talking about earlier about how like sometimes you're like more than just a sales rep. You're like a consultant.
Oh, I mean,
That's unbelievable. That's awesome.
We are unlicensed for anything besides selling things, but we talk to people about emotional things,
Right.
body things, gender things. Like I've had people. I'm the first person they ever not confess, that's the wrong word, but they've ever disclosed like trauma to. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not the right context. Let me put you, in touch with someone. But it's a very touchy thing to talk about sex. And sometimes it breaks these walls down with people. And sometimes people are walking in there easy and fun. And it's, not always an emotional draining thing, but it's a space where people can really be honest in a way that I think they often find they can't be anywhere else.
So I would imagine you probably have a lot of repeat customers, right? Because they come in and they're just like, I got to.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that this was a thing that I could even do. Because I mean, you're throwing a. Wow, whatever this cool thing is here that I'm never giving back to you.
Masturbation sleeve.
Yes. Oh, man. And you know what?
I like how he pretends there's no name of it.
I thought I had 2 of those right here at the end of my arm, but
But
this thing looks way better.
you don't have repeat customers because you take trade-ins. No, this is all.
God,
Matt's
no.
acting like
No,
I'm here to trade in my my masturbation
no.
sleeve.
No. This
For
I
the
never
new
want.
one?
I never want this to go away in my entire life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I want this
Let me
buried.
get you a fresh one.
I have a question. When women, or not just women, anyone who comes into the store, how do you choose how to direct them to a toy? Like, I find looking at toys very, very overwhelming, even though, like, I would love to have all of them.
Sure.
I just don't.
There's your repeat customers.
Right.
That's,
But then
you
it's
know.
like, it's a good chunk of money you're laying down, like easily low part of that is probably like, $60 to $70 for a decent toy, I think, and so it's hard to make a decision about which one to get. So how do you what do you say to people to guide them to the right toy for them?
Well, that's a really good question.
That is great.
I know I'm super smart, you guys.
And I think, that's when you start getting into the nitty gritty of people's sex lives. Like, well, what are you using this for? What have you tried before? What's your budget? Which I always forget to ask. And how do you envision using it? How versatile do you need it to be? Do you need it to be something that you can use in more than one place in your body? But what I really like to do is give people an opportunity to sort of explore the store first and to touch things, to turn them on, to see how they feel in their hand. And then I also am really a big fan of like, well, what looked cool to you? Because they all sort of do the same thing or they're all completely different. It kind of depends on how you're looking at it. So I think people's instinct is really important. But yeah, I actually don't spend a lot of time helping customers anymore because I'm the boss. But I was
delegate.
I was there all day today, and I was overhearing everything. And there's someone who came in and spent a good half an hour with a salesperson, talking about it and working through. And then there's people who come in and they pick something off of the wall and they get.
Sounds like it's more psychology than it is actual. So you're not just like selling products because obviously you got that whole psychological aspect that goes with the products. Because like I said, I think we live in a society to this day, even though it's not the 1800s anymore, where people are still pretty. I don't want to use the word repressed. That might be the white word, but there's a lot of labels out there. Like, for example, a guy who sleeps with a lot of women, he's not a stud. A woman who sleeps with a lot of guys, she's not a slut. But those are, we have labels for everything. You got a friend with benefit, whatever that means, the hookup. So there's a label for everything. And it's just silly stuff that really doesn't mean anything in the scheme of things.
What's the label on that hammer?
This is a thing called the Love Hammer.
Oh my God.
That is a vibrating hammer that I actually saw, and I was like, nobody wants this. Why would anybody want a vibrating hammer? And my staff was like, oh, yes, no, we need a vibrating hammer. And I was like, okay, we got a vibrating hammer.
That thing
and do you sell them a lot?
Insane.
No, I mean they're kind of a novelty. They're $125. You're like, if it's your first vibrator, I'm not going to be like, oh, get this hammer. It's the perfect vibrator. No, I'm going to show you something that's a little less.
It's a hammer. It's like you could disguise it. You could just keep it around the house.
It's got a pull. It's got a pulse section. I love these.
It'd be really bad as like a actual hammer, but
no, don't use that hammer.
Yeah, not that one.
Not that one.
That's for something completely different. No, I'm looking at the things that you have out here, and again, we're going to take pictures, so don't worry. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know what you got. We're going to take pictures of everything, but some of the things, again, if butt stuff. Because that's what we have some dildos out here, right?
Do you
I didn't bring
butt
any
stuff?
butt things. I'm
not saying I don't.
I know. I'm just asking. I feel like we're being non-judgmental, and we're talking about
we're
things
being
openly.
non-judgmental. I like everything, but I'm just looking at some of these things I would never want to be anywhere near my butt, and some of those things that they seem. You can hear the vibration.
I know. I can
some
feel
of the things
table.
are actually terrifying. Like I can't imagine that there's a lot of people that whatever Teddy's playing with, that seems really, and again, let's take pictures, I promise. That thing looks terrifying to me.
So
it feels good though.
It's a dildo. It won't turn off. I know. You can give it back to me. Number one question ever the store that's asked at the store is, how do I turn this off? Everyone can turn on a sex toy, but no one can turn off a sex toy.
I just want to point out that I did turn it off.
That is awesome.
Because I am an experienced sex toy user. Yes. I love sex toys.
General rule, you hold it for 5 seconds.
Yes.
The button, okay.
Unless it's totally different because someone decided to have some dumb
That's
other
the
way.
new thing with all massagers. Like even the muscle massagers, too.
Yeah,
I've
those
noticed
muscle massagers.
I mean, they're muscle, quote unquote.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You mean those punchy kind, though?
No,
that like
we just got one of those, like the
Pharaoh.
gun.
Gun. Those are not very good on your whatnots.
Yeah, those hurt.
No, but those are really good for.
They're good for your muscles. Yes.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, don't put that thing in your butt. Do not put that thing anywhere near your butt.
And don't have it punch your
I just
clit.
want to say, since
I don't mind a clip punch, but I feel like a Theragun.
Hey, there's a good band name, man. Matt, there it is.
They're not good.
Elizabeth, if I had a dime for every time I said that.
Clip punch.
I heard of the donkey punch, but not the clip punch. That's a new one.
All right, so let me ask you this, because you're a feminist, right? And you're a feminist shop, right?
Fuck
so there was a time, right, when lesbians were very anti-dildo. Is that a thing, right? They were.
It's really interesting for you to. Like, no one brings that up, but it's no.
I never heard of that.
It's an interesting because I think there's no. I'm sure someone has a dissertation or paper they did on this, but Yes,
I
there
literally
was
read
there
one,
was
yeah.
definitely lesbians who, and this is like a long time ago, who had this idea that any sort of penetration was reproducing patriarchy. But this is kind of this is more of a fringe idea, and this is an idea that has evolved so much, and I think once people, especially as sex toys evolved from all looking like dicks, right? Like I didn't even bring anything that looks like a penis here, right? And there's a lot of, I think once people could have sex toys that just looked like a tube or a spaceship or whatever, and before we even had tentacles and unicorn horns.
Literally in front of you have a hammer.
I do.
An eggplant and a tentacle.
Well, I was told to bring this interesting thing.
No,
I didn't bring
it is
my,
interesting.
yeah.
I did. No, I asked her. I
that's
said,
perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
I said, bring some things that would
only
make me blush.
One of which is butt safe, though. But
Could you?
so
just
I do think that
point
was.
one out? Okay, that's that one. Okay.
You need to have a flange
I'll take-
on the bottom to
I will
prevent
take
it
two
from
of
going
those.
inside.
Yeah, I'll take
Yeah,
just
to
two.
prevent the ER visit, you get the flange too. So I have to
But
go in there
no,
with forceps and pull that out. And
It was definitely a part of the history, and I think that of course there's people across the gender and sexuality spectrum who don't want anything to do with a sex toy for all kinds of reasons or penetration or whatever. But I think that has evolved a lot since back in the day when it was harder to get what you wanted.
Don't you also think that there's always been like different things that have come up that are especially geared toward women? Like I think that it's funny in terms of men, like when we talked about like male pleasure, that like everyone's just like, oh, men only like penis to vagina sex, and that's definitely not true.
It's
Who
definitely
said
not
that?
true.
No,
Who
that's
said that?
that's just kind of
That's
like what
our
the
culture.
yeah, that's our culture. And then the
not
other
my,
thing,
not my culture, but
Well,
okay.
No,
Yeah.
listen. Because
Yeah,
of
but you've
religion
never had
and other
sex,
things.
Ted.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was
Elizabeth.
touching you.
That's true. But I'm touching this now, Elizabeth.
I
so
know.
I'm on the
Well,
right
I'm
path.
going to help you with that
I'm on the
later.
right path.
Trust me. There's nothing more than I want to do is put that in your mouth.
That's just
I
a stop.
have to go
That's
for
just a
that.
stop.
Wait,
That's just to stop me from talking.
Elizabeth, if I had a dime for every time a guy said that to Ted, yeah,
That was
yes.
very aggressive.
I promise if you dip it in Crown Royal, it will go in his mouth.
Oh my
But
god!
I just think that there's always been some kind of like thing that people are like, well, women are only into oral sex,
Right.
Or even there was a time with lesbians where it was like scissoring's not real, and I was like, my first experience was definitely scissoring. So like, it's just like it's funny that these kind of ideas come through and they kind of trend through.
Oh, for sure. I mean, what was really interesting is when I opened the store a long time ago, and people who identify as men would come in and they would look around and be like, well, where's your stuff for men? Because they wouldn't see a whole wall of pussies, and they would be very angry at me about it. And I'd be like, oh, well, we have masturbation sleeves and we have butt toys, and so many men would be like, I am heterosexual, I don't want this, I don't want anything in my butt, blah blah blah. And I'd be like, whatever, dude.
You're missing out.
And then people started making prostate stimulating toys, which are basically butt toys with a different name and a little bit of an angle. And all of a sudden, heterosexual men were like, I'm not here for a butt plug, I'm here for a prostate stimulator. And I'd be like, okay, great.
Wait, do you get a magic
Same
marker
day,
out and
different,
erase?
exactly. But culturally, when this started to be talked about, it like opened this quote unquote door for a lot of people who had shut off this part of their sexuality because it was perceived as gay or one way street or whatever
That's
you want
genius
to say.
marketing, right?
It was really good marketing. And now prostate play is like good for you. So do it all the
I
time.
never heard that term before, but yeah, like you said, like times change and you got to change with them. So, like for example, if you look at the male standard of beauty back in the 1930s, whatever like a pinup girl looked like in the 30s does not look like the same type of pinup girl. Whatever. Like so I'm just talking very generically. Like just say whatever blah 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 actress is like. The guy's like, oh, this is my dream girl. That's not the same girl that was like from the 1920s,
No.
like the Andrews sisters
Or
or
the
something.
1220s,
yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
That's
So, what else in your store do you have besides dildos
Well, we have lots of vibrators.
and vibrators, like accessory wise, other than toys?
Socks. We have some really cute socks.
Wait, are you talking about like when you're on vacations, you need something to
No, I'm
finish
talking
in
about
socks?
I'm talking about like
Oh my god.
adorable knee socks. That studies show that people who wear socks have better sex.
Really?
It's true. Well, yes, but I think it's because people who can wear socks during sex have a more comfortable relationship with whoever they're having sex with. But
Interesting.
we really sell them because my aunts were like, could you buy something that we could buy from you? And I was like, well, I already have lots of stuff you could buy from us, but they wanted me to sell socks. So I sell socks, and people love socks.
Wait a minute. Are you honestly saying that people have better sex if they wear socks? 'Cause
Oh, that's some study, yeah.
I will tell you that
I need to do some
Is that like a
studies.
lights on? It's like a lights on.
I think
lights
so.
off
It's like if
thing,
you're
or-
comfortable
yeah.
enough to wear your gym
Sure.
socks to bed, you're probably, and also if your feet aren't cold, you're not distracted by that. I don't think that socks make you have better sex.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just like
I get
it's like
it.
anything. The more like
Yeah,
you know,
if
it's
you're
like playing
focused
sports.
on your
I get it.
feet.
If you're
You
play,
should
but
try.
it's like playing sports. Like the more relaxed you are, the better
Yeah.
you're going to perform. If you're tense and nervous and scared, no matter what the endeavor is, you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Regardless, if it's sex or in your
But
case.
do you have
as
do you have-
someone who's like a
bowling,
roller
golf.
derby chick, I will
Wow.
tell you that if you wore like knee socks,
Yeah.
like the gym socks that go up to your knees, not even like cute socks, just the ones that look like gym socks.
Oh, for sex? you
yeah, no, like just wearing them around. Men would go like,
Oh,
nut-
well,
like,
yeah,
people
that's got
just went
that whole
nuts.
school
yeah,
girl.
that is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
odd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Well,
what you
and
wore,
that's the
though.
fun.
Yeah,
that's
I wear them all the
see,
time.
See, that's the funny
Yeah.
thing. So, like, what women think, that's the expression like men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But the funny thing is
I
like
feel like you brought up that book the last time I was here. Are you trying to tell me
I'm
something?
not trying to tell
Another
you anything.
thing
Elizabeth,
that's
I don't
really
think
old.
I don't think
Yes.
I don't think I can tell you anything, Elizabeth. To be honest with you, so I'm just talking in general. So
We need to get you some new literature.
Exactly.
You've now quoted two
I'm just
really old things.
Yeah. So, but the point is, what was my point? I just forgot it.
I
So what
have
women?
no
So what
idea.
Women are
women?
from
No,
bars.
what women perceive as like just innocent, men could find really sexually stimulating.
Sure.
So like for example, a woman who's like overly sexual, we might actually think that's a bore. Or a woman who's just kind of, just like the way she smiles or the
Demure.
way she crosses her legs, or like I said, knee-high socks versus ankle socks, that could be very stimulating to a guy. So,
Sure.
or even like a physical flaw, like a woman with like a space between her teeth, or just like even acne, or just something where they think, oh, this isn't making me attractive. Some guy might find that really attractive. So,
there's
anything.
somebody out there to find almost everything
Yeah,
attractive. Yeah,
sure,
There is no doubt. Were you looking for me to say something else about
Yeah.
accessories?
So do you have
though?
like lubes,
lube?
lotions?
Oh, of course. We have
all that-
lubes and
okay.
candles.
Candles.
And,
Okay.
Like butt
Yeah.
candles?
butt candles?
Yeah.
We don't have any shaped like a butt or to go in your butt. Please keep candles out of your butt.
Wait,
you just said
you
butt like
actually
40
have-
times now.
So I looked this up. You actually have chastity devices. Is that right?
For penises, yeah. A couple.
That seems like the opposite of what anyone would want.
Yeah, it's mostly there's a couple people who wanted them, so we have them. It's not.
gotta be a
it's
role-playing
not
thing,
The
right?
most of our clients. Yeah. It's
Sounds-
or your dom tells
Sounds like
you
an
to
edge,
put one on.
sounds like an edging type of thing going on.
Right,
So,
that's what I was going to
But
say.
you're not. You don't have like clothes. and
No, I was
stuff,
going to say
right?
the same thing. I think it's just
No,
like
okay, just
there's
the socks.
there's something about like
See, I knew something new.
Stockings.
I
We
knew
have
something you knew.
stockings.
I'm so
Socks.
proud of you, Ted. I'm so proud.
I was reading. I was cheating,
I love-
I was
I mean,
cheating
I
off
love
your
the
paper.
idea.
I was cheating off your paper. I was like, I know.
I was like, you said edging, and I was like, oh my god, Ted is so
Yeah.
This
wonderful.
is beyond my ability to comprehend. Okay, so I read this story recently that a local high school, Francis Parker, and I don't know if you know this.
I don't want to get doxxed. I don't talk about this. But anyway,
Was-
go ahead.
oh, you-
no. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So during their
We have
um,
nothing to do with
the
it.
school downtown.
Oh no, nothing at all, nothing at all. Yeah, Francis Parker, a local high school. During their LGBTQ week, when they do this, one of their teachers brought in sex toys for the kids to check out. Right?
I don't know if that's true. The story I read said they just talked about sex toys,
Yeah.
but maybe
Okay.
I don't know if it's true or not.
Okay,
Yeah.
but even then, if they brought him in or just talked about him or whatever it is, I know people. I read the comments. Honest to God, I had to go through 100 comments, and I found not one single positive one. But I have to say this. I don't see where it's a big deal. If you demonize something, I mean, it's just something so people can enjoy themselves with, right? That's what we're talking about right now. I mean, so what?
Or
Yeah,
just,
but I don't know.
educate them. Or like you hear about. Actually, there was a school that I guess they had like a drag show, or they wanted to have a drag show, but there were
Right.
so many threats and so much anger
But that's
that
not.
they can't.
That's
that
not
they can't
sexual
show.
in nature.
Yeah, no,
sex toys are sexual in nature.
Sure,
They
sure.
probably should not
And?
be bringing them. Well,
Well, I mean, I think I really.
I'm not a prude, but
I would be surprised to hear if they actually had
Yeah.
sex toys in the
You
school.
have-
But regardless, like the internet is out there, right? So young people have access to all kinds of bad information,
on their
misinformation,
phones.
yeah,
Right on their
Right,
phones.
right.
and being able to teach. I'm not saying that we should be taking sex toys into schools. Please do not let anybody take this. But like talking to kids honestly about sex doesn't make kids have more sex. It doesn't make kids. There's so
Correct.
many studies that show that abstinence only or withholding information about sex only harms young people. It does
Correct.
not give them the tools they need to make good decisions. And I think that's what gets lost in this discussion is that especially queer kids, who like has the highest, rate of suicide, like these kids who are demonized for their, sexuality. And so I think that I don't know what happened in that situation for real, but I think that there's a huge difference between teaching children about things and also then,
Well, I think the harm comes from not teaching them.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think your points are absolutely valid, and I agree with you 100%. I have 2 young adults who are female born, and I was never taught anything about about sex. Never taught anything about even my period.
Oh no, of course not.
So I didn't know shit. But I do feel like that when they were old enough, I was like, you can have sex with yourself, and this. What I think happens in this case is if you're a young person and you know that you can pleasure yourself in different ways and that you're not embarrassed or ashamed of it, is that for women's, again, for or even for gay folks, is that you now can take a lot of other shames away in terms of now I'm not an object for this. I don't have to find validation through a male-female sex relationship. There's no I don't need that validation anymore. I can settle these feelings that I have right now. I can also learn what I like and I don't like. Yeah. And the better part of that is that when I do finally get a partner, that I can tell them what I do and don't like, which I will tell you for me as a young person, male and female, because I slept with anyone who basically looked my way. And, I was just like, "What? You just said my name? All right, great, let's have sex."
Where?
Talk about a pickup line.
I was like, right now. So the thing that I found very hard as a young person is not being able to have the voice to say, "This is not comfortable. I don't like this." And when you open that door for your children, then they get to say those things, and you can talk about the hard things about sex.
And doesn't it also keep people from getting into bad relationships because or hooking up with bad people because listen, I want to have I want to enjoy myself. I want to have an orgasm. I want to do these things. So instead of I don't know anything about sex toys, so no, I'm just gonna go hook up with this guy. Or I'm gonna go hook up with this girl, and it turns out to be a bad thing. Maybe I get a disease. Maybe I get pregnant or something, and instead of you get that, you get the opportunity to do this and enjoy yourself sexually without, any kind of trauma or any kind of bad thing that happens to you.
Well, and, most people, sex toys aside, have, some, the ability to masturbate without, you don't have to buy something, to masturbate. And people get very creative with their sex toys. And I think most people will, I've heard many, many stories about things people put their dicks in and put in their vaginas and use.
Oh my God. I used to masturbate on the edge of my couch.
Yeah.
Wait.
Rub it.
Wait.
Here's one thing I don't recommend is a milk
same
bottle.
For me. Yeah. No. No.
So I think that
the doctor had to take that off. That was horrible. Yeah.
As long as we're teaching kids to to honor to that pleasure's a thing and they have the right to it and they have the right to say no. There's all this stuff that we don't teach kids too, that I think people are so scared that if people have enough tools that to be able to have sexual agency, that they're going to go wild, when the truth is they're going to probably just have smarter sex and not as much of it, maybe, who even knows, or safer sex.
Yeah, just because because knowledge is power. So for example, would you rather have a 14-year-old daughter who gets pregnant because she meets some boy in school, or would you rather empower her and give her knowledge about sex, even though maybe that's not the right time to quote unquote talk about it, but with that knowledge, she's like, hey, I'm not going to have sex with this boy because I have some information now, but without that information, she's like, there's no context, so she's just happy that some boy's talking to her, and so you're trading basically a potential lifetime of, not misery, but just now you have a kid at the age you're a kid having a kid, which nobody wants that,
Yeah, but I think that's really thinking about it in the extremes ways. Yeah. But there's I do think one thing that is very important to teach your children is bodily autonomy. Mm-hmm. You have to be it is important for you to be okay with telling people not to touch you. You have to be okay with people telling people what you want when you are being touched. And I don't think these are conversations that definitely of my generation was happening, because I don't think that any of my friends were having this conversation with their parents.
They do talk about this in school.
Yeah.
Specifically what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And I think that's a big change. Mm-hmm. Before it was basically don't let a dude touch you. Well, that's not going to work, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to work. And for me, it was not only will it be not a dude, but it would be anybody who basically looks my way.
Yeah.
And to your point, that's what's crazy about all these people that don't want their kids being taught by teachers in school. Not necessarily about what you started on.
No, that's a big thing.
But it is a big thing, but it's ridiculous because they're not going to talk about it.
No.
And they don't have the wherewithal to articulate what you're saying about, there's a lot of different things to cover. And as parents, we're uncomfortable talking about it I know I am to a degree, and they learn a lot more in school the right way by those teachers than they would
Right.
in a lot of cases. I mean, it's
Especially in Illinois. I mean, we do have pretty good sex ed
yeah.
requirements. But I also think that, this idea that if you just stick your fingers in your ears and ignore that the kids have interest in sex or are going to have sex, that somehow it'll all work out great is just, it's been proven time and time again to not be an effective way to prevent pregnancy or to prevent, the transmission of STIs or any of those things, or to prevent kids from having sex. They're still going to do it. So
no, listen, as I taught in CPS for forever, right? And one of the things they did early on when I started teaching, maybe, I don't know, 20 years ago, is they were giving out condoms in high school. And the parents in those areas lost their shit. And they said, if you give them condoms, they're going to have sex. And these are in the places.
And the teenagers are like, what? Really?
Yeah. These are the places with the highest teen pregnancy, right? The highest STDs. And they're already, and no one had no one had the stones to stand up and say, what? You got 14-year-olds pregnant. You got a 15-year-old who's got syphilis. They're already having sex. We're going to help them to not have the repercussions that can come from this. And it went on for about 6 months in all, the high schools in the kind of the inner city area where the biggest problems were, and then they stopped. And,
well, I'm here to tell you, giving a 14-year-old a condom does not equal sex, because I had a condom in my back pocket for fucking 8 years.
Oh, hell yeah.
You finally pulled it out, it cracked.
I'm like,
it just fell apart.
Every 14-year-old with a condom has sex.
I mean, I have some stories about my kids and their exploration of sex that would totally embarrass them. But I will say this. I won't say the whole story.
Speaking of consent.
Right. But I did possibly open a Amazon delivery that wasn't mine, that might have been something that was very sexual for one of my children, so you guys don't know who it is, but
you're
I remember,
a bad mother. Amazon, we got a woman here that's got a great store.
I'm horrified.
Amazon
is
right.
evil.
That is the assumption
Teach
that
your
my
children better.
Yes, I have tried. Sarah, I've tried.
I'm just kidding.
So when I delivered it to my kid, I was because obviously they knew what it was coming, and I was I opened your package by accident. I'm really sorry I opened your package.
The one with my name on it.
No, with my kid's name on it. And I was but also, because it was just, it was oh, it's my package.
Right.
And then I gave it to him. So I was I'm sorry that I opened this package, but I'm really, really proud of you. I'm really thrilled that you got something like this. And I'm so proud that you understand exploring your body. And my kid,
then you got crushed, and they said,
"Right,
it's for a friend."
My kid goes, my kid looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, stop talking."
So it's funny, even though you were totally accepting, your kids still.
They don't want to hear it, no matter what.
Yeah.
Get out,
because that's pretty progressive right there. Yeah. So
no.
Awesome.
When your door is closed,
shut up, Mom.
No, when your door is closed, I mean, you honestly, when your door is closed, you think that no one in the whole world knows what's happening. Right? When the door is closed, your mom walks by, dad walks by. I mean, we all did it, right? We know. We were all right there. All your dad had to do was walk in, and he was going to see you. And you're just like, oh, my God, I didn't lock the door, right? And you're right in the middle of it, and you're just like, oh, just please walk by, please walk by, please walk by, right? And, then, because whatever it is, even if your dad walked in and went, hey, good job, right? You would be like,
no, it doesn't matter what.
It would just be a bad deal, right? It would be a bad deal. Okay, so are you guys ready? We're going to have a little fun. Are you guys ready for a sex toy quiz?
Oh, I am. I mean, I'm
okay.
Wake up ready for sex
okay,
toy
so
quiz.
I feel like she has an advantage.
She does.
But I'm gonna feel real
because
stupid
I'm on
if
her
anything
team.
wrong. Yeah.
So we're gonna make Sarah answer last.
Okay,
so that
like
you
it.
guys and I was going to make teams, but I was going to make
But then you're like, Ted has no chance.
Well, I was going to put him on your team. I was going to put Ted on
let her
your
do all the
team.
Ted's on Team Knob Creep.
Yeah, Ted is on team. What'd you say? But
there is a me in team, by the way.
Yeah, there is.
There's no I, but there's a me.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a Ted and team.
Okay, so Sarah, you answer last. Do not do. This is a great story. My sister is going to laugh her ass off. We had an aunt. We used to play Trivial Pursuit all the time, and we had an aunt, and she was probably the most intelligent person ever, right? And we would play Trivial Pursuit. Like we'd have 5 teams. It'd be like 10 people, 12 people. We'd be playing, and you can ask any question in the whole world, and my aunt would do this. 17. And then she would just cover.
always
She would,
had to tell
yeah,
you.
she just knew every single thing. So Sarah,
I make no promises.
don't yell anything out. Okay, don't yell anything out. Okay, so first,
I'm gonna be so embarrassed when
do my
Ted beats
best.
me on this.
okay, this is gonna be awesome. Okay, so first sex
I'll
toy,
sandbag.
first sex toy ever made. How many years ago was the first sex toy made? How many years ago was the first sex toy made? Anybody can call out except Sarah.
I would say the 1800. Wait, do we need a year? Is that what you
Just
want?
general, just any
1800s?
Okay, 1800s.
1700s.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Oof. Like I think I remember reading something. They found something that was like 800.
Wait,
Wait. I have a qualifier.
800, like
Well, I have a
AD.
qualifier. So do you mean like marketed as a sex toy or something
No,
that
no.
people put in their vaginas?
Just the first thing that they found was like that's a sex
It
toy.
was like Egyptian.
well, yeah.
no, I want to change.
would think that'd
I'm
be
changing
old.
my answer. I want to say ancient Greece.
Yeah,
I want
I
to say
would-
like
I would
400
agree with you.
BC.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Okay.
BC. Yeah.
Sarah. Oh,
I'm so bad with. Isn't that like 20,000 years old?
30,000
30,000
years
years
ago.
old, yeah.
Amazing.
Neanderthals.
feel like I read this article.
Right? Yes.
Yes.
So I love my research. Okay.
I mean, I think
Animals back then.
people, stick anything up there. Why not?
Well, that's why I was asked. That's why I wanted
So
the
I'm an animal.
clarification.
He
Because
did
there's
make
marketing.
it sound like someone manufactured.
Yes,
sex toys.
correct,
Yeah, okay.
correct.
okay. Okay. So
Bad
all right.
question, Matt. Move on.
Terrible. Okay. Damn. Is Alex Trebek dead?
Fire your writer.
Who took over for Alex Trebek?
Aaron Rodgers.
I have to wait for him to die?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Well, he's a terrible football player,
I
so he's
want-
going to go
we
right
do.
back to him.
Well.
Okay. All right. In 500 BC, the Greeks made fake dongs out of, you have three choices, multiple choice. Sarah, don't say anything.
I don't think I know.
You ready? Old loaves of bread, the hides of animals, a squirrel.
Oh, I'd go with squirrel.
Could you just imagine somebody sticking a squirrel up their ass?
Just a dead squirrel.
taxidermied squirrel.
It's like nice and hard, rotting.
Could you? I feel like Elizabeth and I would
I'm
walk
thinking-
into the store. I feel like we'd
Sure.
walk into the wrong store and be like, "Yeah, I want to stick one of those in my butt."
Yeah.
And Elizabeth would go, "Oh, wait a minute, Sarah's store is down the street. I don't know."
Right, don't
Yeah.
confuse us with
yeah, the taxidermy
woolly
store.
mammoth. Yes.
I'm
I
thinking
love
like
Willy
the
Mammoth.
bread part will lead to a
Yeast infection.
yes. So I'm gonna rule
It was
that out.
the door was open. Ted, you took it.
That was
Yes.
a layup. That was a layup.
I'm
sorry.
very proud
That
of
was
you
a
right
layup.
now. I
mean,
feel
right.
very proud.
Old loaves of bread, hides of animals, a squirrel. Sarah,
I don't know the answer to this, but I would think hides of animal.
you ready for this? Old loaves of bread.
Wow.
And the yeast
It's
infection was
stale.
invented.
Wow.
Stale.
It's an.
It was crumbly.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I know.
Desperate
Okay.
times.
All right.
Also, who wants to? I mean, there wasn't a lot of food.
Right. I really thought it was going to be gold. I was hoping it'd be gold.
Get gold.
Gold?
Yeah, I just don't.
I like that too.
It wasn't even an option, but
Okay, all right. So you ready for this? By 1300 AD, the sex toy industry was taking off. It was innovated by Benoit balls. Okay, filled with animal semen. Okay, I'm not fucking with you. In 1300, they had Benoit balls filled with animal semen, cock rings made of goat eyelids, and double-sided dildos. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Which country was the leader in making sexy time sexier? You have four choices. Are you ready? Choice one, Iceland. We know there's a penis museum there.
We know
Okay.
Thordor.
B, Bulgaria. C,
Bulgaria. Okay.
C, China. Or D, I'm so glad I wasn't alive in the 1300s and had to put my dick in a goat eyelid.
I'm so curious about goat eyes now.
I'm just like, what?
Iceland?
Goat eyes.
I'm saying
does it have
China.
like some kind
China.
of like
So they,
boning? It's
yeah,
probably
no. So they had
on the eyes.
so in order to get a cock ring, and you sell those, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so they used goat eyelids, which I guess were elastic, to put at the base of your dick to
brilliant.
keep your, to keep your
Penis
erection
harder,
yeah,
longer,
Yeah, yeah. So
It's like a
Iceland-
tourniquet. It's like a
Just
tourniquet.
to be clear,
It's like a
Sarah
tourniquet.
does not
Yeah.
sell goat lid.
I
cock
don't, but I
rings.
might go. The PETA would have.
Oh, you
me.
got to go. What?
Okay, I'm gonna go with what is Iceland,
Bulgaria, China.
or China.
Well, you said there was four choices.
Oh, the first.
The other one was a joke, Ted. I said.
Oh.
I said I don't want to stick my dick in a goat eyelid.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's all in his.
sorry.
delivery.
I'll say China.
I said China.
I'll go with Bulgaria. I like it.
I would say China too, based on.
Yeah,
China.
I know.
Benoit
Yeah.
balls.
Benoit balls.
Well,
yeah.
they make everything, right? China makes everything, so you have to assume that they're doing it. You ready? All right. Give me a really good guess at the first butt plug. What year? What? I'll even give you give you like a decade or whatever. First butt plug invented.
Intentional butt plug?
Yes.
Right, I was gonna say,
Yes.
well.
No. Literally, okay. Sorry.
About
Sorry.
30,000 years
marketed?
ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ask shitty questions, but yes, the first intentional butt plug.
I'm going to say 1950s because that's when all the GIs came back from World War II, and that's when the baby boom was. So I'm going to say 1950s.
You think they came back from World War
Wow.
II
So
in
they
the
could
1950s?
stick
Logic.
shit
It was
in
like
their
the middle of the Korean War. Everyone's coming back from the
Well, it was after World War II, so before
He's
the
like in
Korean
World
War.
War I, no one cared about butt plugs, but World War II.
Hold on, Ted.
mustard
Ted
gas
was
in
in the
World War
Ted was in the Air Force, so he knows when you're done serving, you want to
Get
put things in your butt.
plug. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Gosh.
First butt plug.
I don't know. I'm going to go back to the 1800s. I like the Victorian period. Like, I'm just like,
I think it's a Puritan thing.
yeah. I feel like,
More
yeah.
like the 1700s.
17.
All right, Sarah,
What
you're
about Egyptians?
Yeah.
Yeah, Egyptians.
walk like an Egyptian.
Yeah. I think we're back at Greece.
You're right. They invented everything.
Ted.
And
They're not
Neanderthals.
making fun of you.
I know.
1850s.
Oh, nice.
First marketed
All right.
butt plug. You
Alrighty
ready?
then.
I guess
First,
marketed, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
first blow up
Although
doll.
marketing
I was
started
gonna
in
say
1800s.
1800s, yeah.
Yeah, first blow up doll. The first time you could go buy something to.
Do you have those?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, this I got in
Good.
my hand. I got in my hand a blow up doll. It just is just
Good.
the
No.
vagina part.
No.
When I worked at that porn store, I remember there was two Japanese men who came in, and they were very quiet but very studious. They were like, their energy was just fucking great, and they were like looking around, and finally, they obviously didn't speak very good English, and they came up to me and they're like, "We want 3 hole," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I realized it was a blow up doll. They
This
wanted
isn't
a blow up
bowling
doll
alley
with 3
store.
holes.
This isn't the pro shop.
Yeah, it's just like 3 holes. What are you talking? Well, at the time, I'd never even seen it because you're not allowed to take those things down and like open them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't like start touching those things for
Right.
other people want.
Yeah.
But anyways,
All right, so
Fresh
first blow up
shingles.
doll. Give it to me, man.
I would say 1950s in that one.
I'm going to say the 60s. It's like a Cheech and Chong
I'm going
thing.
to say 19 teens before the Titanic sank.
All right, Sarah.
Oh my God! So I just want to say first that I know a lot about sex toys now. I'm not a sex toy historian.
Yeah, jeez.
That's all right. See,
Last
that's what I was
20
hoping
years
for.
is really where I go. I actually, because I went thinking the 60s too, because you need plastic for that, unless it's like some thing with a goat bladder or something. So
Like
I
a
don't
flat
know.
A
Stanley.
goat
A
eyelid.
flat
Like,
Stanley.
Yeah.
this,
You
it's the
don't
rest
think
of
they're
the
like
goat.
scarecrows? Like,
Is it, no,
like,
it's,
I mean, blow up. I'm really honing in on the
you're right,
term blow up.
That's
but
true.
yeah.
That's true.
Yes,
That's true.
yes. I'll say 1970s.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
That
Wow,
makes
that's
sense.
much
That makes
later than I
sense, yeah.
expected.
Yeah. Okay. And Sarah, now you have to know this one. You know,
stop.
do you know
Betty
Betty Dotson?
Of course.
Okay, so you know Betty
I've
Dotson. Do not
smoked
say.
weed with Betty Dotson.
Did you really? Yes. Okay, and here's why Betty Dotson is important. She opened the first sex toy store. Is that right?
No.
Oh, son of a bitch! I got my. Wait a minute. I got my info wrong.
She was a pioneer in women's masturbation liberation and orgasm, and she did a lot of workshops that were very interactive, and she's known for I would say I can't say this word, popularizing the Hitachi magic wand as a masturbation device, but she did not open a sex toy store as far as I know.
No, she
She's
did.
the one. She's the
No,
one who.
No, she did.
What store?
She did. She opened a sex toy. She actually she's kind of out there as the first person to actually open
she
a sex
knows
toy
the
shop.
woman.
Tell me the name of the sex. She's dead.
I
now.
can't. Yeah, I can't
See,
tell you the name of the store.
So there's a store in New York City called Eve's Garden, but I don't think that's been
So-
around for a very long time.
So she was instrumental in opening that store.
Okay.
Yeah, she was instrumental.
But
in
she didn't
opening that store.
necessarily own it.
I don't
Maybe.
think
I-
did.
she was-
I don't think she owned
Could
it.
have been
They probably-
inspiration for it.
They
Yeah.
used her expertise and everything.
Yeah,
but-
because
Yeah.
of that magic wand.
Consultant.
Yeah, 'cause of that
Yeah.
magic wand.
I didn't know this history about the Hitachi magic wand, and that's the one sex toy I have that I fucking hate.
Wait, what is that?
And
what-
I
what is the
don't
magic
I don't
wand?
hate it because it does definitely feel good and you can use it lots of ways, but I hate having to plug it in.
Oh,
it
they
makes
make
me-
it rechargeable now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I'm like, this thing feels like an ancient, like,
is.
like sex
Was she
toy.
on? Was she on?
Even
Real
like the
Sex?
cord, my white cord is all
Probably,
like yellowed.
Sounds like a hair curler
Be
from
careful
like,
you don't have any like fraying in that
Yeah.
cord.
I just
Yeah,
like
she was
this thing
like
burn my house down.
she was amazing. She was amazing.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Betty Dodson. She's the reason a lot of the feminist take on sex and women's sexuality is evolved.
Ooh, I'm going to read about
Interesting,
that. I love it.
Yeah, no, she's really cool. I mean, it was a really interesting read. That's why I love when we have guests on. Like, I get to research for, especially because I
you're like
no
a dilettante.
Yeah, because I just like learning about all this kind of stuff. It's really kind of cool.
You did,
okay,
yeah, you did your
so
research.
a fleshlight. Just so you guys know, a fleshlight is something that you stick your dick in. That makes it's basically it's for a guy. You stick your dick in.
You stick Richard in there.
What was
Why don't you
the
say penis?
original purpose of the fleshlight? It was
flesh. You're saying flesh.
A fleshlight. Okay. Yeah. So it's a thing you stick your dick
I
in.
really thought you said
It
flashlight. I'm like,
looks like a flashlight.
Yeah.
It's like its whole idea is that it's like a.
Yeah.
It has
Okay,
a cap
okay.
and it looks like the biggest flashlight ever.
Okay.
Or can just be like a 4-inch one, because we don't all have giant dicks.
So
but-
the original
No.
so
purpose
what was
of
the
big.
original purpose of the fleshlight? It's a what do we call it? Masturbation tool, right?
Yes,
For guys.
but you mean the flashlight TM, like
yeah.
or
so,
you mean okay?
So that was basically what I read was the
Because,
fleshlight was the first kind of masturbation tool that was sold for guys that you could stick your dick in, right? So what was the original purpose?
it was
of the
cock
fleshlight?
to
No,
remove your cock
I'm
ring.
going to say penis enlarger.
Like a pump.
That's just my guess.
Okay.
I've seen a picture of a
Okay.
fleshlight years ago, but that's my guess. It's just something about the suction.
That's a great.
That's just a
great.
guess.
I love that. Okay, it's not the right answer, but I love that answer, Ted. I do. So
I don't know.
you ready? It was actually used as a cum catcher if you went to the doctor and they wanted
God,
to
as a
test
cum
you.
catcher.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, I don't know. What would you call it when you go to the doctor and they want to test
Ejaculation receptacle.
sperm receptacle. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
Catcher.
this is a family show. I thought.
Could you wait? Hold
So
on.
basically, it was a used sock.
Let's imagine. Yeah. Well,
It
let's
was,
imagine
a knee sock. That's what it was.
the doctors and the nurses working back in that day.
Hey,
when
come
they
here.
gave
You got
one of
that cum
those to
catcher. I
somebody-
got that guy coming in.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like the
that's
doctors,
what
right?
they said, right? The doctors and the nurses all said that. Like the doctor walk up and go, "Hey, what's this? I need him to say, yeah, just give him the cum catcher. Just give him the cum catcher. Yeah, because that's what they wanted to do. Okay, this is kind of cool. You guys probably you may or may not know this. What state at right now in this day and age is it illegal to buy? Oh, you last. What state is it illegal to buy a sex toy in? Right fucking now. 2022.
I already know the answer to this. I mean,
Go ahead.
let's just say Utah. Let's just get out of the way.
Absolutely not, man.
Mississippi.
Any place. Listen, any place that has all those
48 more
religious
to go.
rules probably is crazy. They probably sell more sex toys in Utah than any
We
place
ship
else.
a lot of packages.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Nice. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
Mormons. All right.
So what state? What state can you not buy a sex toy in legally?
I'm going to change my answer then, Mark.
I'm gonna say Vermont.
I was going to say for
Bernie Sanders lives there.
Oh yeah, he probably uses sex
Yeah,
toys.
he is a
probably
dildo, isn't
does.
Wyoming.
No.
Wyoming.
You ready? Alabama.
That makes sense.
Roll
Yeah,
Tide.
isn't it?
Roll
Roll
Tide.
Tide.
And,
Roll Tide. All right.
That's
And-
crazy.
and in Texas, not until 2008 was it legal to buy a sex toy.
Well, and there's been laws where like you can have a certain number of sex toys. There's there was something in Texas when it was not legal where you couldn't buy vibrators, but that they didn't see butt toys as sex objects. So you
Woohoo!
could buy butt toys. Like it was like, oh, this is our personal massagers, our condom demonstrators, and butt plugs because
Well, a lot of states still have those like sodomy laws on the book from the 1800s. So I think they were probably conflating those two things together, where they figured,
So in Alabama, it's illegal to buy a sex toy or retail or sell a sex toy. I don't understand.
In Alabama, you cannot buy.
What you can go online and buy one, right, and have it shipped to you.
Right, but if you get caught,
So you're
you
not
can't
allowed
even-
to retail. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to sell sex
There
toys
are-
in Alabama.
There are no sex toy stores in Alabama.
and there has recently been some talk that you're not supposed to send them
Dude,
to
you need to
Alabama.
get on that.
To get a sex toy store in Alabama.
Hell yeah.
I don't want to go. First of all, I don't
Huge
really
business.
want to go to Alabama.
No,
Yeah,
but
you
you
don't
could-
want to be in
It's okay to
Alabama.
say
Yes,
no
don't
one
go
can.
to
Imagine if
Alabama.
you-
No
no,
one
no,
wants to be
but
there.
Birmingham's
She could be the
beautiful.
first
Birmingham's
sex
really
toy.
nice.
Sure.
No. She could ship
But it's
there.
still
Like,
illegal.
yes.
It's still illegal.
No, but
they haven't
yeah.
changed the law has come up in the past
All right, who's the governor? We
X
got to get
years,
on the
and
phone
they
here.
decided to not overturn that law.
Yeah, yeah.
But if they saw the store, if they
Doesn't
saw
it
a store
seem-
like yours, I think that yours they would. I think they're all envisioning like this.
I'm sure they sell back massagers at
Right.
Walgreens.
Yeah.
Well,
and
what didn't
and I
what's her
think
name say they
Target-
sell it at Target?
Yeah,
Target now sells a lot of vibrators,
but maybe they
I-
don't in Alabama.
I think it's Well, it's healthcare, right? Like there is something about that. I just wanted to mention, actually, Ted, when you brought up sodomy laws, when Sarah and I were talking earlier about like how so much is motivated by the male, like what men want. sodomy lies are a great example of that. Like, it's a great example of like, I'm afraid that someone's going to touch my butt, so I'm going to make these laws. Like, it's insane. It is insane if you go back and like look at the history of like, especially Americans.
Well,
and
they're
our,
antiquated
like,
laws made by, like I said,
Yes.
old white men.
by men who are scared to
Yeah.
have their butt
Yeah.
touched. It's
Yeah.
like it's a wild, crazy ass thing.
More tears than a white man has fears, all that good stuff. You know what I'm talking about? We all know that. We don't know
I
that
love the idea of
expression,
that being the motivation for sodomy laws.
Yeah, they're just basically like, don't touch my butt. Because if you can't touch my butt, no one else can touch my butt. Like,
No, you know what? I could completely.
I don't want to think about people touching my butt. Like, that's
Yeah,
so
no,
weird.
I could complete based on all the things that have happened in like the last year or so. I could absolutely see that. I could absolutely
Yeah.
see that. I mean, look, we had to fight. I think today, Biden signed a same-sex marriage law.
Yeah.
This
The
is
respect for marriage law. Yeah.
This is
To make it-
2022, and all I have to say is, why do you give a shit what two people who want to be together? Why are you into that?
Why
is
do we
that
have to put these laws that protect people?
Why
Right.
can't you
From-
just
yeah.
let two people do whatever they want to do?
Well, I would say like the one thing I'm gonna hate on it because I do hate it is the Christian right. It's like that the idea is that like they're like stay out of like keep your laws off of our whole thing, like smaller government, except when
Yeah.
it's in the bedroom in a way that I am uncomfortable.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
except when
really-
it's
Don't tread on me
Yeah.
unless I'm uncomfortable by it.
Right. Like
Unless
like
I
no
don't like
like
it.
big government so bad, but just except when we're in bedroom, like then you should be there. Like,
It is kind of crazy. Okay, so they did a study in the UK, right? And so this is what they found. They found that men spend more money than women on sex toys.
I believe that 100,000%.
Yeah, and
Wait,
here's
we just pay more for them.
no. Here's the funniest part: men also pay more to have it shipped faster than women do.
I totally agree with
Oh,
that.
that's fucking hilarious.
They needed it yesterday.
I love the
They needed it yesterday.
verification. I
So
love
what's
the
problem.
I love that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're
Well,
just like,
and
yes.
that men. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's actually true
I want it now.
from my in my boutique world, but definitely I think, you know, like a lot of things, men want to impress people, especially women. A lot of men do, and so I think they'll buy the fancier. I know you look it's like that's
What?
the craziest thing you ever heard. Yeah, so they'll buy the fancier toy as a present, which is great. Please come on
so-
down to
Yes,
early to
I love
bed
that.
and impress
I love
women
that.
with fancy
I think
sex
you're
toys.
absolutely right.
Well,
I really,
this brings up a question that I've been burning to ask you all night, which is like, if you have, say, 3 middle-aged, white, straight-ish dudes that I know of in this room,
Hey,
and you,
if you're talking about me, it's straight-ish.
Oh, wait,
but-
Right.
have you written my
I'm like-
biography? Have you written my biography?
I'm just asking.
Oh, you-
I'm just
oh, you-
asking.
okay, you
I'm
just- okay.
That's why I said straight-ish.
Okay,
I don't
sure,
really know.
sure,
I've
yes.
never asked.
I like how you qualified that. That's good.
But if this was their first foray into the world of sex toys for themselves, do you have advice on how they would select it, or like advice on a product that you think would be fun?
she's gonna go warranty. One with the longest
I
warranty.
already found one, so you don't have to. You can skip me.
Well, you know, we would always sort of start off by asking, are you looking for something for your penis or your butt? It's kind of like,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
that's
where
a
you
good
start.
question. That's a good question.
You know, we would probably say prostate play or something for your penis. And then this is why I'm a good salesperson. I would probably look for something really inexpensive, and I would say you should try that. How about, you know, what do you like? What do you usually do? And then try this. And then if you don't like it, you're not mad. You come back, you get something better. But if I sell you this gorgeous $139 masturbation toy that you're gonna love, and you hate it, then you hate me for the rest of your life, and you don't come back again. So I'm all about
That's
the
a
That's
lot of
real.
projecting.
That's real.
If you
Yeah,
look
that's a lot of
if you look to
projecting
your
No, but
right
that's
on the
real.
wall, you'll see Matt's first 2 masturbation toys. Now those have been
The
tactically
towels.
plugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
now I feel harassed.
eat the shit and die. Okay, so I want to play a little game here. All right. Oh no, let me ask you this first. Remote control toys are the newest thing, right?
Ish,
where
yeah.
okay, so where people are
You're,
putting
you're
things
like since 1983.
Well, app controlled that's the yeah.
right. Okay, so sorry, that's
Oh
what I'm
really?
talking about. Right.
Like,
Yeah, well, there were
I got you,
toys
yeah.
that were like actual remote
Yeah.
controls.
but now okay, app based. Yeah, yeah.
So you can control someone's toy from anywhere in the world.
Fucking
Right.
hilarious.
So you have
That's
two
great.
choices, right? You can
That's very popular also
You
in the
can
dom world.
you can do something.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking of is people who what I was reading about is people who put things on or in themselves while they're walking
yeah,
around,
yeah.
right? And then they have their app on their phone, right? And they're doing things to themselves while they're at work, while they're at play, doing whatever it is. How popular has that become?
Well, I really like selling these products, so I'm going to say really popular. But I think that people don't. I think people think it's a fun idea, and then the practicalities of being out in the world and pleasuring yourself or being pleasured by a partner is not as always fun. There's issues of consent. Like you're in a restaurant, everyone else did not consent to watch you have an orgasm. I think that for
I'll have the spaghetti, and I'd like to watch Mark come twice. Thank you.
But I do think that for couples who don't inhabit the same space, like are either long distance or just don't live, I think that has become really popular. I think most of the people are using it like while they're video chatting with somebody or something like that. I think that there's not. I mean. Don't go. I don't think everyone in the post office has got a butt plug that they're secretly vibrating with their phone while you're waiting in line. But if that's how you want to,
do I need to look at these? Do I need to look at these people and just like, hey, why are you so fucking happy?
It's just called multitasking. Yeah. That's all they're doing.
Well, I mean, if you've ever been out in the world, you see most people aren't very happy, so they're probably not using them. But I think
civil servants are not using them.
Maybe we do need some more of those out there.
I recommend everybody who works at the DMV should start doing that immediately.
Okay, so let me ask everybody here: would you put something on you or in you, and then let someone else control it?
I would say yes. I mean, that's kind of like just having sex with some stupid dudes. Like I've had sex with stupid dudes where I'm just like, I don't know, I'm checking out, but like finish your thing, dude. Like, I mean, it's kind of the same idea, right? Like he's just having fun, and I'm like, wow, I should have never said yes, but now I'm here. Like,
so unfortunately, you can't.
Hold on a second. I wonder how many women I've had sex with have less like, oh, this fucking stupid dude to finish.
It's like 75%. I'm sure.
I actually read this. It's kind
I didn't think it was that low.
It's kind of unrelated to this, but it was pretty funny. I was reading some type of like
Ted, Ted, you cannot get out of this question.
No.
You cannot. Ted.
So the woman said the woman had sex with a guy. She had sex with a guy, and then he said, "Oh, I voted for Trump," and then she goes, "I wish I could have unfucked him."
Okay.
I like that
and
line.
now back to the question. Ted, would you let someone else control whatever kind of sex device you have on or in you? Would you let someone else on an app, like wherever, would you let someone else control that?
Who's controlling it?
Someone else, Ted. Ted, I don't care. It's not Donald Trump, so just let it go. You know what? And by the way, I feel like he'd be so distracted by something shiny that he would probably just put his phone down.
Just wander off.
He'd be on Twitter. He'd accidentally like Twitter, and then he'd hit the one button that. But would you let someone do that?
Huh. That's an interesting question. I have to think about that for a second.
Oh my God, Elizabeth, do you see what I have to deal with?
I mean, I don't know why you have him on the show.
Let me call you right back.
He's on his dildo phone. Mark, would you let someone control your sex thing?
I'm happily married.
Would you?
Yeah, but your wife could do it.
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
So I mean, I'm not, no one else. The only person who's going to have this is my wife.
What about our golf weekend with Andy?
No,
she
doesn't go with us.
Wait,
okay.
Do you want to be on the winning team or not?
Do you want to be on the winning team?
Well,
he was on the winning team.
I love the way they're
they're
taking this away from me now. All right, I don't have to answer it. We went to fucking golf somehow.
Wait,
somehow we got on our golf trip.
You would let your wife do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'm proud of you too.
You know what?
Well, I mean, I trust my wife.
Yeah, good.
I mean,
it's really good.
I would.
Okay.
It's not like strangers can get access to these apps.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
So that.
Hackers.
Wait, Matt, what about
that
you?
Is not,
oh, hell
that's
yeah.
not a
been
thing.
a problem.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's hackers are a thing, but we have not heard of that being an issue.
Yeah, I've stopped. I've stopped worrying about like if it's the only thing I'm worried about is anything that would kill me. If it doesn't kill me, I'm just like, yeah, go ahead, do it. I don't even give a shit anymore. Yep.
Everything can kill us.
I know.
What? That's not real. Okay, so crazy things people have put inside. We talked about that, right? Crazy things people have put inside them. Are you ready for this? In a penis hole, I had to do some research. Here's what has been in a penis hole. This has been taken out by medical doctors. You ready? Barbie doll arms and crochet needles.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I was like, yes. Okay.
Do you sell toys that people can put? I mean, that seems.
There are toys
It's called
that way,
sounding.
Yep.
And we don't sell sounding equipment because you have to have a sterile environment, and it's just not something that we.
I was
going
to say cocktail swizzle stick, the cocktail thing that stirs the plastic one. Not the hard plastic. Yeah.
Don't
But
do it, though.
but the sounding equipment kind of looks like those sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
Does it vibrate? Is that why it's called sounding?
they're
No.
usually metal.
They're either metal or silicone,
silicone.
steel or silicone, and they do make vibrating ones now.
Do you know
but-
how painful it is to put something up your? Is it your urethra?
It's
or
your
something?
urethra,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you know how much that hurts.
But again,
No, I don't.
Well, you don't want to know.
No, yeah.
I didn't bring the right stuff.
I was like, I think like to me personally, it doesn't sound like a fun time. It isn't something I'd want to be involved in. But I also think like people who want that, they know what they want, and I think that's kind of cool, right? Like if you're like, this is kind of the thing I'm into, then it's consenting adults. You know.
But like sticking things in your butt, you want to make sure you're using products that are designed for safety when you're doing that.
Correct.
Barbie arms are not.
And also not gerbils. Like
No.
don't.
Oh yeah, I heard about
That's
the
super
gerbils with the
old school.
toilet paper roll.
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard about
that's-
that. Yeah.
No, that's super old school, right?
That's
Like that's
Felchin.
like
Felchin,
probably
right?
80s.
Is it called
That's
Felchin?
70s. No,
No, I felt like it was like when Richard Gere, like that was like the big.
Felching is something.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that was that
so
bullshit.
Oh, that
stupid.
room. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And then what was the other rumor that who's that chick from Halloween had a penis, right? That stupid rumor.
Jamie Lee
Yeah,
Curtis.
yeah, that was that stupid thing that
So
went
dumb.
around.
Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
I know some jagoff went up to her and asked her that because it was heard on Howard Stern. It was just that's such stupid stuff. But now that you mention butts, some things that were found in butts.
I feel like Matt,
you
we've
name
been
it, it
talking
was
about
found
butts
in
all
someone's
night.
butt. Yeah.
Flashlights. Some guy. It was a fella because only a guy is this dumb. Made a butt plug out of Legos. and guess what?
And
It didn't
sharp.
go well, and he handed up in the emergency room. Yep.
You can get a really good butt plug for like $12. It's safe.
Hold on. Are you talking about
way
the Lego
cheaper than
sets?
Legos.
No.
That's way
Not
cheaper than
Legos.
Legos. The Legos
Right,
are
cheaper
very,
than Legos.
Yes.
Wait, Sarah, what? So tell me what the difference is between like a vaginal dildo versus like a butt toy. That like, what's the product difference that makes one safer for your butt versus
I mean,
the other?
the only thing that's really different is that something that's safe for your butt has a flange that'll stop it from getting sucked inside. And when we
yeah.
Damn it! I
judge
wish I knew
things-
that.
Like even this on my tentacle here is a little bit of a we would
there's like an edge.
we would say be careful using this in your butt because it doesn't have that good of a flange, even though it has a pretty sturdy flange. But that's basically your butt plugs will have, and sometimes they have a smaller neck too, so they can pop inside and stay put. But
Unlike this though, because just for the listeners,
not put
there's an
that
egg.
egg-
There's an eggplant, like it looks like the emoji
Oh, yeah,
eggplant.
no.
you
This
will lose
does not
that.
have. It does not have like an end cap
No.
to it.
You don't want to put that in your
Yeah,
butt.
that's going to be
Even
gone.
though you're like, oh, but I won't let go. I promise. Yeah.
right, but with all the lube, it just
Yeah.
like slip in there maybe.
Wait, and there's no fear that would go too far in a vagina?
No, because cervix. People who have vaginas have cervixes, and the cervix prevents anything from going too far. I mean, it can hurt because if you don't want things bumping on your cervix, but
That is bizarre, and if there's probably
I'm not gonna share a
99%
story.
of
I have a
people
story,
probably
I'm not
know
gonna
this.
share it.
I had no idea that was a thing.
the cervix.
Yeah, well, there's a wall. You hit this. You hit a wall that like just stops.
I'm
it.
not that
Stops
well
the
endowed.
babies from falling out.
Listen, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to tell the whole world, but yeah,
Well, you're
that's
not gonna
never been a
feel
problem
it.
for.
We-
Never
I mean-
been a problem for me.
I feel,
I forgot about the
I feel,
cervix.
I
Yeah.
feel like the next podcast that we should have is like
Cervix talk?
just like an OB-GYN comes in
Yes.
to describe to you guys what
A
women's
very
bodies look like and their
patient
feel
one.
like.
We'll talk about the cervix,
I also-
the vas deferens, all
Right.
that good stuff, So
I also want to like start to like put this in your guys' head is that there's also like there's women, there's men, there's also people who are non-binary, and sometimes the language around sex is very difficult. So like when you're saying like, you're putting your dick into something, there's also like people who have penises but aren't necessarily men. So I think those are things to think about, like when we're talking about these things, because it's like we're all kind of learning, and I just think it's important to tell your listeners. And I think it's important to tell you guys. So
Thank you. I mean, I don't usually actually when I'm usually talking about anything about the bodies, I don't even usually use gendered terms. We usually talk about what part of the body is or where it's going, or we use non-gendered terms just because we don't know someone's gender just by looking at them, and so we
Yes.
try to be very thoughtful about that in the store on a show with these guys. I'm
no,
sort
listen.
of like,
Yeah.
Hey, I walked in your store and you knew exactly what I was looking for.
no, it's important because I think when we are talking about being non-judgmental about who people are and what they want, that's part of the conversation is that we have to accept everyone for where they're at, right? And when I think for your job, it must be sometimes very challenging to deal with that when you're talking about what their wants are.
Oh, absolutely. And that we have to make sure that we're not making any assumptions. And even if someone walks in the store and looks like the most heterosexual guy you've ever seen, we don't know who he's partnered with. We don't know what he likes. We don't know, what he wants to do. And we have to, take everybody's, like, I'd say at face value, but sort of the opposite of face value. Like, what is it that you want? And the same thing, with, so that's, it's a,
okay, so
yeah,
I will tell you this. I mean, the show is open to everybody, but and I'm not trying to do that. I just think that when I start just talking,
yes, of course,
I end up talking about things that I just end up saying. For 55 years, I've lived a certain life in certain ways. So I'm not trying to judge anybody or anything like that. So sometimes if we're just kind of bullshitting, I forget like if I'm at work. I wouldn't even talk. I would just not say anything.
That's where when you're talking right now, I was thinking you're trying to explain yourself, and I'm thinking that's why I don't talk anymore.
Let me be clear. Like, I think every conversation we're having tonight is good, and I think like talking about this is good.
Right,
because
it is
to your
very
point
good. I
is that
agree.
you are a 55-year-old man who's lived a life in a certain way, and I think it's always a good reminder when you love and feel safe with people that you can say, look, here are some small reminders about how you move in the future and why it's important, right? We had this whole conversation after our podcast recording last time.
Right.
And so, like, I'm just saying, like, you guys are fucking great. You're fun. We're having a good time. But I also think, like, it is also important for us when we're talking about, especially about sex, and especially about like what people need and want, that we have to be kind of careful about how we talk about it. In terms of the fact that, like, we want people to feel good about who they are. We want them to feel good about their bodies, and we want them to feel good with a tentacle. Like,
I think there is nobody who wouldn't feel good with that
Tentacle
thing.
knows no gender.
Yes.
Oh man!
So you know how?
yes, and it's all. This is all good conversation. This is all good, like, energy about talking about these things. It's just reminders.
I have a funny, like, a flip story to this. You know how sometimes if you mislabel or use a pronoun, it could, offend somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all learning that, like what you're talking about. There's a flip side to this. I had a customer today get fucking mad at me because I said Happy Holidays.
And you didn't say Merry Christmas?
And I laughed. And I'm like, wait a minute now. I go, you can't do that. He's like, what do you mean? I go, because you're probably the same fucking guy that gets mad at somebody that gets upset at you because you use the wrong pronoun, but yet I can't say Happy Holidays to you. So, I'm
and
like,
plus, maybe
like,
you meant
like,
happy all of the holidays that
like,
are coming up.
or I had somebody, and I'm not kidding you, last week, and I said I say Happy Christmas.
Okay.
I always have. I don't
British
know.
of you.
I know.
I mean, it's like you said, happy ending. I mean, geez,
no,
I always say Happy Christmas, and it caught. And I don't think twice about it, and it caught somebody off guard. And they're like, "You mean Merry Christmas?" I go, "Yeah, that's what I said." He goes, "No, you said Happy Christmas." I go, "Oh, yeah." And I'm like, "But I don't say Happy. I don't
Also,
say Merry
who
Thanksgiving."
corrects somebody on that, like that's
So here's a funny thing. So as a teacher,
But it wasn't an angry thing. It was kind of more of a social
Right.
thing. But I was like, "Yeah," but and I told him, I go, "I don't say Merry Easter. I don't say Merry Thanksgiving." And I always say Happy. I say Happy Christmas, but you're right. It is a British thing, and I think that's where I picked it up when I was young.
Is that what it is?
I also
Oh,
love
yeah,
that
totally
you say
is,
Happy Holidays, because I think, again, like society, we want to move into a more
I feel better
inclusive-
saying that,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're like, let's be more inclusive.
I'm
like,
way
let's
more
be
comfortable saying
way
Happy
more
Holidays
inclusive.
than-
Yeah.
Hanukkah comes before Christmas. If you're saying it now,
Yep,
you
and
know,
I have
mean,
some Jewish friends too, and I always thought when we were out and about and somebody says Merry Christmas, I was like, that sucks,
How about this poor
because they're
guy?
talking to me and not you. I'm like, that sucks. I was like, I don't care. I'm like, yeah, but it sucks. I'm
Yeah,
like,
hey man, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. That was for me.
I know. I'm like,
I
right?
love that. No, I got a Christmas gift about 10, 15 years ago that said Happy, from one of the students. It said Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite thing. I still put that up on my Christmas tree, the Happy Christmas, because I did not know that was a British thing.
I think it is.
yeah, they say it is. Yeah, they say Happy Christmas. They don't say Merry Christmas.
Isn't that weird how someone would get offended by Happy or Merry?
Well, how about the countries that just don't celebrate Christmas? I mean, there's plenty of countries out there that don't recognize Christmas, Thanksgiving. Does that make them?
Yes, it does. It makes
bad.
Oh,
They're
makes them
bad.
makes
them-
them bad.
makes them
Oh,
terrible.
We should get
We
rid
all
of them.
know
Okay,
that,
you're right.
yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right. My bad. Let's pretend they don't exist. Okay.
Okay.
move on.
All right. We're moving past that. All right. So we got to put this thing to bed. Okay. We got
Gotta
to
say, how long does this
early.
go on?
Yeah.
I know it's so tedious. I wish it was over too.
Ted says that.
Sarah's like, I already showed my hammer. Can I go home now?
Oh man, you know that thing's not going home with you. That thing is big. What was that line from Seinfeld? They're natural, they're beautiful, they're real, and they're fantastic. Yeah. I feel like that's what that thing is. Okay, so here's how it works. If you've never been on the show or listened to a complete show all the way through, Sarah, we won't make you say yes or no. At the end of the show, everybody kind of gives their last words, right? We never make the guests go first, so do not worry. Teddy, what do you want to leave us with today?
I'm actually so glad I didn't have to do the tips for 20 today because I was woefully unprepared. So thank you for that. I'm glad you forgot about that, but I'll be better prepared next week.
Son of a bitch.
Thank you. So, but what I want to say, guys, so just, we're talking about progressive thinking. I love this thing, by the way. We're talking about progressive thinking.
For those who can't see, Ted cannot.
So
he has not taken his hand
His
off.
dildo. What's it called? What's that called?
Unicorn?
Mystic something. It's got a tag on it.
It's a unicorn. To
I am
me.
taking a picture of that, Teddy. It'll be that thing with your hand on it because everybody's got to know you played with that.
So guys, just there's people out there that they're not progressive thinkers. Okay, we know that, and it's not their fault. Think about like Archie Bunker from like 1970s, right? He's not a progressive thinker. His capabilities are limited, so we shouldn't punish an Archie Bunker because he grew up in a certain era or a certain genre. That's the best he could do with what he has. So even though he might not agree with our ethos or belief system, we have to, I'm not saying we should accept the Archie Bunkers of the world, but the point is we have to understand that they're limited in their capabilities.
But we should still try to teach.
We should try. We should do it best we can.
But
if
it's
they,
hard to
So, hey, basically,
they might not make it. They might not make it. They might not make it.
Basically, right now,
This is our conversation last time.
Ted is meathead. That's the job of meathead on All in the Family to teach and convert Archie Bunker.
no,
You are
everybody-
meathead.
All right,
Listen.
Mark's last thoughts.
All right.
Hold on. Before we do that, everybody who's listening to the show knows that Ted has no concept of what the difference between TV and reality. Yeah.
He has not read a book since 1975.
Yeah.
He's
hasn't.
not seen a TV show since 1979.
Reading makes me sleepy. I don't read stuff.
Words make him sleepy.
Yeah,
Words
make me sleepy. All right, Mark, last
and
thoughts.
nauseous.
Well, I want to thank Sarah for coming in. Elizabeth, it was awesome seeing you too. Sarah, thank you for coming in. Thank you for your store. I just want to tell listeners that have an open mind. Be kind, rewind. That's my thing, right?
Stop that.
Matt hates that. It just have fun. Have fun. Visit Sarah's store. I love it.
I like that one.
How'd you come up with the name?
We were trying to brainstorm a name one night with a bunch of friends, and someone walked into my bathroom, and I had a shampoo that was called like Early to Bed aromatherapy
come on.
shampoo, and they're like, "What about Early to Bed?" And everyone's like, "Oh my god,
That's
so
hilarious.
much
That's
better
so
than
perfect.
That's good, yeah.
Yes,
love
I
that.
wanted it to be evocative, but not
Yeah.
too specific, like Sarah's Dildo Emporium.
It's already taken.
That was
too.
the second, yeah.
So
Wow,
if I open a place,
see a future for me.
Yeah.
don't call it Matt's.
Yeah,
Matt's
Matt's-
House of Dildos.
Matt's penetration
Station.
castle.
Listen, isn't that how the best ideas? We had a softball team, and the team was fantastical, and we spent I don't know, a month trying to come up with a name, and we were doing some day drinking. Started about 10 a.m. and we end up in this guy's
That's
house.
morning drinking.
Yeah, it's whatever. Okay. And we end up in this guy's place about 6 o'clock, and we're all just like, we got a shower, get ready to go out and do some more drinking. And we're like, we need a name for the team, and I grab a CD. This is way back in the day, and it's called Squeeze. Band Squeeze, which
Yeah,
I
I
love.
remember them,
I
yeah.
love Squeeze. One of the first things I saw in college. And I said, "Oh man!" I want to play this one, Squeeze. My buddy goes, "That's it. That's the name of the team." Yeah, and so it's funny
things
how
happen.
it's funny how that happens.
We,
Okay,
we had a bowling team like that, just real quick. So one of the best bowling teams I was on, we actually won the league championship. No, it's funny.
I know,
So
Ted's like, this is
we
him
had
the whole time.
So, bowling teams like the Alley Cats, the Strikers, Snooze
Yeah.
Fest, whatever. So we're thinking of a bowling team. So I found this there was a bowling bag from like it was like a hard shell bowling bag, and it said Ballivator on it. And that was our team name was Ballivator. And yeah, we kicked the shit out of the whole league, and we laughed our ass off the whole time. And yes, we were magnificent.
I honestly was hoping it was going to be butt plugs, and that's the name of your team. All right, Sarah, leave us.
Wait,
with...
I didn't get last words.
Yeah.
No, you're going after Sarah. You don't have to go.
Oh, but she's the last guest.
It's okay.
But she's got some info here. She already has heard it twice. Hey, damn it!
It's your show. It's your show.
I picked Sarah. Don't. I feel bad now.
Should I pass the dildo?
Yes.
so
You can't have your
warm.
last. Because Ted's been playing with it for 1 hour and 43
It
minutes.
smells like gyros.
That's pretty racist,
Oh, it's funny because Ted's Greek.
That's
Part Greek.
That's actually mean. Okay, Sarah, go ahead.
What am I
Please
saying?
ignore
Just
them.
my
Your
last
thoughts, please.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. This has been delightful and way less offensive than I thought it would be.
We did the best we could with what we had.
Yeah,
We're sorry.
Did a great
We're sorry.
job. You
Yeah.
guys did a great job. And I would just like to encourage everybody to be nice. I really like the Be Kind Rewind, and to prioritize your pleasure this holiday season.
Whoa,
And
that's
also
cool.
next year,
a good
and then
one.
forever.
That
And
is-
get to bed early.
That is cool.
And get to
Okay.
bed early.
Yeah. Okay. Elizabeth.
I would also second Mark's comment about going to early to bed on Clark Street, because that's a very important store and it has like very important things that are there that everyone can enjoy. But most importantly, I think if you are a person out there struggling with your sexuality or how to figure it out or like what you want, I think Sarah and her team are going to be able to help you figure that out. So go and be masturbatey.
Yes. Go forth and masturbate.
Oh my
I love
God!
that.
I love that.
I'm pro masturbation. It's like my favorite thing to do.
It's very healthy.
God
It's
damn, are
good
we
for
progressive.
you.
Man,
Wow.
that is absolutely awesome.
We
Okay,
went
so
from like nuns and priests like telling you you're gonna grow hair on your palm
Yeah.
of your hands.
Yeah.
You're gonna go blind to like go forth and masturbate,
Go
my
forth
friends.
and
go forth and
I
love that
would
concept
probably
of that.
stay away from the Hitachi magic wand with the plug-in. I'm glad to find out that there is now
Rechargeable
a rechargeable
versions.
version.
Well, wouldn't that suck if there was? I mean, if
I would imagine there were a lot of plug-in stuff.
yeah.
There was
20, but maybe even 20 years ago, there was a
yeah.
selection of that,
Yeah,
right?
there's still a few. People like it because they're reliable. You don't have to recharge
Totally,
them.
yeah. It's like old school guys that use tools and they won't go to the batteries. Yeah.
Exactly.
oh wait, are we still talking about?
Hey, a tool is a tool.
Hey man, there's a guy. I got all my drills are battery, and I go into this body shop, and the guy's like, "Hey man, we're still using air here. We're still using air. They're plugging it in." I'm like, yeah, it's got the most power, but
That's great, Mark. I'm old school, man. I need a place to plug this in. So I put my cock ring on, man. Are you good with that? Yeah. All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to remind everybody, Sarah's store, if you're in the Chicago area, 5138 North Clark Street in Chicago. Her website is earlytobed.com, and that's with a 2. Okay. And then I love the concept of this. And again, I've been so excited to do this for so long because I feel like people, when they think about sex toys, think about, oh, you're a pervert, you're doing it, you're wrong or whatever. Listen, enjoy yourself, man. Have fun. Try different things, man. Just you know what? It's kind of like this show, right?
oh, and you don't have to talk about it.
No, talk about it all the time.
No, I'm serious. That's a big thing. That's why it's like people are embarrassed to talk about it. You could do it, and you don't need to advertise, right? You can go in your
of
store.
course.
You don't need to talk about it.
Or you
But
can.
what if you
Or
do?
you can. No.
Listen,
Of
what if
course.
what
But
if
your
tomorrow?
private life can,
Yeah.
You can explore whatever you
Yeah,
want.
you don't need
without
to.
it.
You don't need to
private
share
life
if you
is
don't want to
private.
share.
Yeah.
You just
That's totally cool. But I mean, if I go, hey man, I got a new masturbation.
No,
what
but
is
you
this
share
thing?
a lot,
What is
man.
this?
Masturbation sleeve, the bubble.
Yeah. I got a new masturbation sleeve. Love that thing, man. And I could just picture what.
Well, I'm saying you'll probably
man,
you'll
yeah.
probably be a better human in your overall life if you're just more relaxed in your personal life, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
so
mean,
you're actually
whatever.
because you'll be more useful to other people if you're more amenable and not stress free.
Isn't
right?
it funny because probably some people would freak out, and then you'd look at a guy and go like this: "You never masturbated?" Guy, no, I don't. I would never. Oh my god, I would never do that. Oh no, hey man, it's just a dick and a pussy for me, man. That's all I do. That's it. Whoa, what am I, some kind of weirdo? I'm just like weirdo, man. I mean, like, dude. If I masturbated every day, I'd be a happier guy. I'm a very happy guy. I just want to tell you that. All right, listen, have fun, enjoy yourselves, and listen often. And Sarah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Listen, I literally wrote that down. Don't forget to thank. Don't forget to
Oh,
thank Sarah.
sign
I feel very appreciated.
Oh,
Don't worry.
yeah. And one
Sign
last
up.
thing.
I will.
If you're listening tonight or tomorrow, you have a sale. right? You have a sale on your website.
Yes.
Flash 22.
This is going out tonight.
Yes,
Yes.
going out tonight.
There's a flash sale, 15% off before the end of the day on the 14th.
14th, for the end of the day on the 14th. So if you listen tonight or you listen tomorrow, get on the website.
That's
and
Flag
you can
Day.
save yourself. What?
Not Flag Day.
It's not Flag.
December 14th?
It's a day that'll live in infamy, isn't it? Isn't that
I
something?
think that's July 14th.
No.
Or that's
That's
Bastille
Same
Day.
thing.
That's
Same thing.
V-Day. That's
Anyways.
June 6th. Yeah.
We don't look at months. We're not like that. Yeah,
Okay.
we're not months.
Okay.
We're not months. All right, listen. Have
Is
fun.
it online only though? The flash sale?
The flash sale's online only,
Okay,
but you
okay.
can order for pickup if you want.
Oh, nice. Okay. Visit the store.
Or visit the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Visit the store. All right, listen, everybody. Have fun and enjoy yourselves, and we will see you guys next week for our end of the year 52nd show extravaganza.
Oh, shit.